Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again and again and again on Crime and Sports.
Yeah.
We have got quite the interesting episode for you today. Oh, man, this is a fun one. The holidays, we try to make fun.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the holiday season.
Yeah.
We try to make it light and fun and crazy.
This is
and
the last Crime and Sports
we
before
have
Christmas.
A real asshole. Yes, program note, we are off next week for Crime and Sports. No Crime and Sports Christmas week. There will be Small Town Murder that week, though, and there will be a bonus episode of Crime and Sports,
Right.
so don't worry about that. We are going to do, well, you know what? People are lonely around the holidays. Let's do our quarterly personal ads.
Absolutely.
Let's do a personal ads episode next week, but definitely last week's bonus was awesome on the USFL and that craziness. That was a lot of fun, but quickly before we get into everything, because we got a lot of episode today, we just wanted to say thank you, first of all, for your reviews this week. They help a lot. Apple Podcasts, that purple icon, 5 stars, whatever you want to say, just say it.
Hardworking heroes.
That's right. Shutupandgivememurder.com is the website. Go there right now and you can get all sorts of stuff. New merch is up there, but tickets to the virtual live show, a Small Town Murder episode, a real episode, like when we go to a theater, that's the show we're going to have for you. We even have the mics and everything, so we're going to feel like we're on stage. We're going to feel like this is a live show, just with more of you in the audience than usual, and we're going to have a blast doing it.
That is wild.
Yes, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
January the 29th, we can't wait for that. So shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get your tickets for that.
And they'll be up for 72 hours after the show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yes, the show will be up for 72 hours. So if you can't do it on the 29th, anytime in the next 3 days, you can watch it as well.
Right.
And get your tickets there. Also, Patreon, like we said earlier about the Patreon episodes, patreon.com/crime and sports. Not only will Jimmy mispronounce your name at the end of the show, because you will be a producer, my friends, but on top of that, you'll get access to all of the wonderful bonus materials, including last week's USFL episode, where we just talked about the craziness of the USFL and a lot of coke.
Yeah, you make people wish that we had entertainment.
Yeah, it's a lot of cocaine and a lot of stuff, and
it's a real football league.
Yeah, 80s, and it was fun. That was a lot of fun. And this week, like we said, we're going to do the personal ads, or next week for Christmas, we'll do that. So you'll get a bonus episode for that. And so that's a lot of fun. And Small Town Murders was Charles Manson versus Heaven's Gate. Basically, it was a
contrast and comparison of two pieces of shit
of the Manson family and the Heaven's Gate cult. Right. So get all of that now.
That's kind of like a precursor to Vile Human Beings, is what that is.
It's kind of what that is,
close.
And that'll be coming soon, as a matter of fact. And we'll talk about that in the bonus episode a little bit coming up. But get all of that at patreon.com/crime and sports. And if you just want Jimmy to mispronounce your name at the end of the show and be a producer and a wonderful person, especially around the holidays, you can make a donation at PayPal as well, using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Right.
Let's do this, Jimmy.
Fantastic.
Holy shit, do we have a wild episode for you today. Because of the Manson thing I've been reading lately and all this different stuff, I've kind of been in this kind of 60s mindset of kind of like exploring the 60s. And
it's a good time to be alive.
Fame in the 60s is a weird thing. So I wanted to go back and get a guy from back then.
Terrific.
Who led a very weird life. And we're going to talk about it this week. And this is a crazy-ass episode. I don't care if you've never heard of the guy. It doesn't matter, because trust me on this one.
I trust you.
You trust me. I hope everyone else does, too. Let's do it with Thomas Lance Rentzel.
Oh.
Known as Lance. He never uses Thomas, but Lance Rentzel.
Okay.
Which sounds like it sounds like a fairy tale character.
Yeah.
It's Hansel and Gretel and Lance Rentzel. Hansel, Gretel, and Lance Rentzel all around through the woods looking for a fucking, I don't even know, looking for a...
He's the guy that got away from the oven.
That's what it was. Lance Rentzel ran away while Hansel and Gretel met their fate. He knew better, Lance Rentzel.
Or Lance is the guy that saved
or he sold
Rapunzel.
Him out. Yeah, one of the two. Either that or Lance went up to the witch and went, I know a couple of kids. They look pretty tasty.
He sold them to her.
They look pretty tasty. When you hear Lance's story, that's not that far-fetched. That would probably be the most likely scenario, put it that way. So Lance Rentzel, born October 14th, 1943. So he's an older guy. He was playing football in the 60s in the NFL and in the 70s. He is born in Oklahoma, born in Oklahoma City.
Oh.
And he's a real country boy? Kind of Oklahoma kind of guy. Yeah, kind of blonde hair.
Yeah.
Likes to play his football and just,
All right.
He's kind of an Oklahoma kind of guy, but he's also a rich kid.
Oh.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
He's not like... he's not like a ranch hand or anything like that.
Rich Southerners are a different breed.
It's a different breed. Yeah, it's different. He's one of 3 sons, and his father was what's called in the newspaper a prominent business consultant.
Okay.
So yeah, he's not like his dad's not like a cattleman who comes in with a big hat on. He's like, "Come on, son, we're gonna go buy some acres." Like that's not what he is. He's a suit and tie guy.
Yeah.
Different
from Oklahoma.
Yeah, just a different type of guy.
He's got a suit. He's just got those leather triangles on the shoulders.
That's what it is.
Come down
well,
to the
you
nipples.
have to have that. Otherwise, no one will hire you there, Jimmy. It's like, what's he going to not have a bolo tie on? Is he going to have a tie made of a tie, or is he going to have 2 strings held together by a fucking clasp? Come on, Jimmy.
Rich Southerners are fun because they are extreme one way or the other, like political wise, and it's fascinating.
They are. Yeah.
Like a very rich liberal from the South is funny.
They're Ted Turner or George Wallace. That's who you get. Like there's no in between.
No.
There isn't down there.
There's no moderate rich person.
Nope, doesn't exist. So,
Ted Turner
or George Wallace. That's all you're getting.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
At a Klan rally or like
at a Black Panther rally as like the token white guy.
Yeah, one or the other. Passing around a corncob pipe full of weed. That's what Ted
cookies
Turner.
And punch.
Ted Turner. Smoked weed out of a corncob pipe in the CNN corporate towers.
Unbelievable.
And that was how, like in the 70s and 80s, when he would like make a deal with somebody, he would bring him in to smoke weed out of the corncob pipe. The corncob pipe. That was how he would close a deal. And if you wanted to get with Ted Turner, you had to go smoke weed out of a corncob pipe with him. And he's a billionaire and you want his business, you want to work with him. So I guess I'll smoke Ted's corncob pipe weed. It was probably good weed. He's a billionaire.
I was just going to say, I hope it's not too strong.
It was probably great.
I hope it's not too great.
That sounds wonderful.
Walking out of there never smoking weed before and being blazed out of your mind.
I read a couple stories of guys saying like they weren't weed smokers and they by the end of the deal, they don't even know what deal they made because...
Got in and out of 7 elevators. I have no idea where I am.
What's going on, but Ted seemed happy, so they were...
I thought I was leaving. I'm back in the same room with Ted.
Here I am. So Lance grows up in Cassidy, Oklahoma, is where he goes, and he goes to private school. He goes to a K through 12 private school.
Oh.
Which, those K through 12s creep me out a little bit. That's a little weird.
I don't know if I've ever seen one of those.
Really? That's
a K through 12 private?
Oh, yeah, those are very common.
I've only seen, I've seen plenty of K through 6, K through 8, and then you go to a high school private.
No, there's like that, but there are K through 12s, which is
fascinating,
very strange,
and expensive,
and weird. Yeah, it's probably expensive.
13 years of a bill for his parents.
Yeah, at the Cassidy School, which was that's the private school of the area. He will make great pains of just to try to tell everyone that he wasn't just a spoiled rich kid, though.
Sure.
He had to work hard, and he's tough, and he's not a spoiled rich kid, but by all accounts, he's a very spoiled rich kid. Just absolutely pampered, coddled, and especially for back then.
Yeah.
He was like, they treated him like people treat kids now.
Okay.
But then, he was like the only kid being treated like that, given everything and very much having his ass kissed.
Yeah. There's a very prominent CNN attorney that grew up here that I went to school with, and his parents were loaded, unbelievably rich, and they sent him to like the shitty public schools that I went to, and even everybody then knew that this kid's going to be pretty fucking important, and true to his word, he is. He's very important.
Money helps,
but he didn't. They sent him to all these shitty schools until high school, where he went to Brophy, of course.
Yeah. Then they sent him to somewhere
private
to the prep school,
right? And then he went to fucking Harvard.
Yeah, you have to go there to go there. That's how that works. Now Rentzel, though, he goes to this wonderful school, and athletics are his thing. He's about 6'2" when he grows up, which back then's very tall.
That's a big dude.
That's a real big guy in 1962.
And probably a wall of a man,
and a strapping kind of a guy. He's not a big giant like an offensive lineman. He's later on in the NFL, he'll be a wide receiver. So I mean, he's a speed guy, but he's a big strapping dude, especially for back then. And he ends up being a four-sport letterman in high school, which is pretty impressive. Football, baseball, basketball, and track.
Jesus. Did everything.
Just an athlete, an all-around athlete. He really is a great athlete. He's really fast. He's a good all-around athlete, and he is he's a high school All-American as well in football at halfback.
Got it.
So he comes up as a running back. That's his. That's where he goes to college. He goes to college as a running back. He'll even get drafted into the NFL as a running back.
Really?
Yeah, it's interesting.
He ends up playing wide receiver.
Wide receiver, ends up being his thing because there's he's super fast. He's like 6'2". Why are we making him a running back?
And also back then you had to be super durable to be a running back. Maybe he's not that.
But that's the other thing too. He does have a lot of injuries. So the running back seems like the guy who gets hit on every play doesn't seem like the smart thing to do. No. Maybe just have him run a little bit. So he's a high school All-American halfback. I looked up Cassidy School. They call it an independent coeducational college preparatory school located in Oklahoma City, and it serves pre-kindergarten through 12th grade. So there's like 4-year-olds and 18-year-olds intermixing together, which is such a strange thing. I understand they're probably not in the same wing, but still, in the same building is still strange, right? Very.
And putting that weird shit together in the same building that's even weirder because they're rich fucktards that can actually talk to each other. About things.
Who knows?
They can relate.
Kindergartners talking, preschoolers talking to seniors about investment portfolios. I don't know what rich kids talk about, right? That's what they talk about: date rape and portfolios, right? That's all. In my mind, growing up, you'd think rich kids, it's just all date rape and portfolios.
Date rape, portfolios, and beer too early.
And new convertibles.
Yeah.
That's all. So other people that went to this school, actually, some prominent people.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma City Thunder owner, Clay Bennett, went to this school.
Okay, so rich fuck's hard.
Rich fuck, yeah. You know that from what Larry Nichols, which he's using his first name as an initial, which is a terrible sign always. Never a good sign.
Right.
He is the co-founder of Devon Energy. So that sounds...
The power company.
That sounds pretty big.
He's a jerk off.
Megan Mullally, the actress who...
She's terrific.
She's hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah, she is. She was Will and Grace. That was the show she was on. She was always like a character.
Right. The drunk loudmouth that's hilarious.
Before that, she always was like a guest person. Like she'd be on Frasier for an episode and be on this for an episode, and she was always that. Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, she's fucking hilarious.
I love a drunk woman.
Oh, she's funny too.
Just a drunk woman that says what's on her mind. Yeah.
she was funny. And she was cute back in the day too.
Adorable,
So, good for her. And Lance Rentzel. So those are the four that went there.
That's it?
That's the main alumni. Those are the notable alumni that Wikipedia has to offer.
And he's probably got the smallest bank account of the three, or the four.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wait till I tell you the story. Are you kidding?
Boy.
He's on our show, Jimmy. Are we doing a show about Megan Mullally's crimes or Clay Bennett? I'm sure Clay Bennett's done some things to get to the point. And J. Larry Nichols, it's a fucking energy company. There's fucking dead Native American somewhere in
untold bodies in his wake.
A mass grave because of this guy, I'm sure, but we don't know about it yet.
No, not yet.
So anyway, he said growing up Cassidy, Oklahoma, he earned 12 varsity letters total in football, baseball. That's a lot. That's
Good Lord,
one for every year.
3 for each one?
Yeah, for every year that he was varsity.
Okay,
all of them. So, and also had great grades, as we'll talk about, and won awards for piano playing as well. He's a pianist.
I love that. I do.
He's a pianist, and that just fits him so well for later.
I wish I was any good at that.
I wish I could
so
play anything.
Impressive.
I can't play anything.
Anybody playing a piano, I'm impressed because I'm like, there's 82 keys? What is it? 89?
I don't even know how many keys there are. There's a lot of them.
That's a shitload of white
I don't
and
know
black.
what most of them do.
Right.
That's the problem.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, how do you know to do that?
I don't know how to do that.
And for how long?
Any instrument, guitar,
but the piano in particular, it's fucking.
It looks,
and there's like a section of it that's the same as the next section and the next section.
But
88, because that was the name of the guy from Dick Tracy.
But at least a piano, you press a button, you press a key, and it makes a fucking noise, and then you can like put that noise together with another noise, and it makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I can't do it, but it makes sense. Drums make sense.
Yeah.
You hit that drum and it makes that noise. You put it, guitars and things like violins and shit.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that, but then I can do this and move that, and it sounds totally different. Well, how the fuck do I know how hard to press and what to do? I can't take it.
Yeah, but a guitar and a piano, same family. How about that?
That's no.
Why does that blow your mind? That's fucking incredible. Because they can make the same amount of notes with a guitar that you can with a piano.
Yeah.
It's just the different frets and shit make the different thing. It's nuts.
In high school, I went to a semester of high school in Arizona, and they had a guitar class in high school.
And you tried it?
And I went there, and I had a guitar, and I had tried to play guitar before, and I couldn't. So I said, this is a whole semester, so if I buckle down, I'll learn something. What I knew by the end of the class was the last thing we learned, because every day, whatever they taught me would replace whatever I had before. So I could learn anything for one day, but I had then they were like, okay, now put that with the thing from yesterday. I'm like, I don't know what we did yesterday. My fingers don't do what we did yesterday now.
We just wiped that memory card.
I don't know how to do that. I'm playing the beginning of Enter Sandman, and that's what I got. I don't know the other one now.
Right.
That's what my problem is.
My thumb drive was full, so I erased it. Now we filled the thumb drive with this.
Every day for a whole semester, I wiped my memory clean. I knew what we did on the last day. I sucked. Oh, God. I finally sold the guitar.
It's a confusing instrument, though.
I can't figure
people that can do that, I'm blown away.
It's magic.
I will stare at you all day.
If you can draw or play music, it's magic. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing at all. So Lance here, he knew what he was doing, and in addition to his pianist accomplishments and all of his sporting accomplishments, his pianistic exploits.
Yeah.
That is perfect, by the way. That's the name of this episode, Pianistic Exploits, because wait till you hear.
Great.
So he was the valedictorian of the school as well.
He is impressive.
So pretty fucking impressive guy as far as in high school. If that's your kid, you're going, well, he's got 12 letters. He's an accomplished pianist, and he's the valedictorian. You're going, holy Christ.
I've done my part.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm sorry. He could kill 80 women at this point, and you'd go, well, I mean, by the end of high school, he was a good guy. I did my...
What do you want me to do?
I can't help what the world did to him.
Right.
So at that point, he ends up getting a lot of scholarship offers from everybody because, I mean, Christ, his grades and his sports.
He's amazing.
Anybody wants him. He accepts a scholarship from the home school, obviously.
OSU.
University of Oklahoma. So not Oklahoma State.
OU.
That's the... Yeah, OU is the big one. The Sooners is where you want to go. You don't want to fucking OSU is. They're fine, but they're not.
They're not OU.
They're the Cowboys. They're not. They're not OU. They're not the Sooners.
Got it.
So no one screams fucking boomer cowboy at us during a fucking show if you're in Dallas.
I still don't know what it means.
I don't either. And a man shouted it as he was executed, even as we'd the one episode. It's a strange thing. This is Bud Wilkinson is the coach, who's a famous, successful coach and giant asshole, as all successful college coaches were back then.
Right.
You just hear stories of how they would torture people, and they go, great coach. That Bear Bryant, he killed 12 students one summer while they did a camp. Is a terrific coach. No.
National champs.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Unless he won every year, not a good coach by like a lot. Unless every year they were undefeated and winning by 40 points.
Right.
Maybe that's not the way to approach it. So, he's given everything, handed everything. He's given a brand new car to drive to college as a freshman. That sort of shit. He figures it out later that he never really had to strive for anything or try for anything. If it didn't come easy, he didn't do it because a lot of things came easy. If every sport comes easy and school comes easy, then why try shit that's not easy?
Yeah.
All this stuff gets me praise and it's easy. So screw it. So he did that. 1962, he shows up at Oklahoma, and he, like an asshole in his freshman year, decorates his dorm room with tons of high school trophies, all of his high school trophies,
boy.
which gets him laughed at by the entire football team.
Right.
You're a jerk off.
Right.
Who cares about that?
Those are prizes for beating high school kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it's all the good ones are all here
Yeah.
now. Do that.
And we all have that.
Yeah, so he would end up. He said he ended up like laughing at it. Like someone pointed out and they were laughing at him. He goes, "Oh yeah, what am I doing? Like that is stupid."
Right.
And sent his shit home. He describes his 3-year stint here in Oklahoma University under Bud Wilkinson. He talks about it. He's one practice he describes in particular. This is what they did back then. This is August of 1962. So this is when he's first on the team, redshirted your freshman year. So it's a sophomore year. Mm-hmm. First kind of spot on the team here. Bud Wilkinson ordered a full pad scrimmage. So full on like a game in 100-degree and humid heat in the middle of the summer.
In Oklahoma.
That's some sticky heat if you've been to Oklahoma. And basically, Rentzel said, this is according to him, that 2 players lost all the salt in their bodies and coiled up on the floor in agony. They were dying.
Yeah.
And
that's not their salt. That's their water.
That's what he called, they lost everything, all their minerals. Another player went wild and tried to beat up Bud Wilkinson with his fists. He physically attacked him, and the other coaches had to hold him back because he lost his mind out in the heat, and he was like, "Fucking, this is crazy."
It's called heat stroke.
Yeah, at the end of practice, he said, "Quote: The field was covered with bodies that could not rise." So this is that's a great coach, huh?
Wow,
terrific. He'd go to prison for that now if he did that to college kids. The NCAA would fucking sanction him. He would be out. That's terrible.
Indefinite suspension and probably jail time.
Something. People would sue.
What is that?
There'd be lawsuits filed.
Endangerment? Is that
it's almost a lot? It's a lot.
Attempted murder?
You could really make a case for an awful lot. Back then, that was the common thing. That'll toughen them up.
Right.
Yeah. Now they're dehydrated. It's going to take 3 days for them to get their bodies back together. Toughen them up. Good. Real smart. So he doesn't take anything seriously, Lance. That's his problem. Everything's kind of a, hey, what are we doing here?
Right.
Kind of a joke. It's all easy for him. As a sophomore, he's going to play his first game, and he was injured. So his first game is going to be against Texas, which is a huge rivalry, OU and Texas. So it's then they're the number 2 ranked team too, Texas. So it's a big deal this year. And Rentzel, there was no room for like the reserve players on the team plane. So basically it was like, well, I'll see you in Dallas, boys, like, or wherever the fuck Texas. Austin, there you go. See you in Austin, boys, like, find a way to get there.
Yeah.
So most of the guys like drove, he hitchhiked down there for some reason.
Stop that.
He has a new car. I don't know why he decided to hit. Everybody was hitchhiking in the 60s. It was the most common thing in the world.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about the Manson family in the bonus episode for Small Town Murder, and the whole thing wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for hitchhiking.
Right.
Like the Dennis Wilson and Tex.
Especially Dennis Wilson.
Dennis Wilson found the 2 girls who got him into the family hitchhiking, and then was picked up by Tex Coulson, and that's how Tex Coulson met Charles Manson.
Watson,
so
isn't it?
Or Watson. Sorry, yeah. Coulson. He's one of Nixon's guys, Tex Coulson. Sorry, one of the Watergate people.
So he gets picked up by Tex, and then he initiates sex into this shit.
He said, you got to meet Charlie. He's the wizard, and brought him over to his house. And then that's what ended up happening.
God damn it.
And then you can go from there.
Right.
So super weird. Stop hitchhiking.
And that's how Kemper picked up every woman that he murdered.
Hitchhiking was... How many murders were caused by hitchhiking? Really?
Why anybody did that in the first... It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's just another person.
Well, back then it was like, no one's going to kill you.
What?
I mean, as soon... You can see a psycho, Jimmie. I mean, look at him.
That's just unbelievable.
It's the weirdest shit. Yeah.
We were really trustworthy. Or trusting. I don't know which it is.
And as soon as hitchhiking waned in favor, the murder rate probably went down 75%. Right. All hitchhiking murders. So he hitchhiked down there the day before the game. And he spent, the game's on a Saturday, obviously. He spent the whole Friday night partying.
What?
Just drinking his ass off, having a good time.
You would. If you made it there, you'd be like, I can't believe I did this. I'm getting hammered.
This is terrific. Yeah, and he doesn't think he's playing either.
Okay.
He says that his point was before he was going to hitchhike down there and tell the coach he quits.
Oh.
That was the thing. He was going down there to quit. He was tired of it. He was injured. The coach treated him like shit, and he just wasn't into the whole thing.
Well, that's a long trip for I quit.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, Jimmy, so he didn't want to do it. That's how it worked. So he was like, this is hard. I don't want to do it. So literally hitchhiked down there because it didn't care. It did it at a real casual pace. Went down the day before, got shit hammered, didn't care. Was going to just go in the next morning and go, I quit, coach. Fuck you. Goodbye.
Right.
Going back to Oklahoma.
Okay.
And instead, he gets down there and he says, quote, I walked up to him, talking about Bud Wilkinson, in street clothes and was about to tell him, but he told me to go in and try a play. This was at the pre-thing. He said, Robbie Fletcher, who was the fourth string quarterback, took the ball in the halfback position and heaved it downfield, and I was nowhere close to it. Wilkinson told me, you're not good enough to be on the traveling squad, but if you get down to Dallas, we might try this play out. So you're not good enough for us to put on the plane.
Yeah.
But if you can fucking hitchhike, walk, or take the bus down to Dallas and you find your way to the stadium, I might have a play or two for you. Casual team this is.
Is this where they used to play, the Longhorns? Is that who it is?
Yeah, I don't know if they might have had it in Dallas.
Got it. And then
because it's a big market, and that's where Oklahoma. It's
a big rivalry place. It's you know what? Was that where they played when we went? Were we in Dallas when they came? When that dude came? Because that was the rivalry game, and that's where it was played at, was in Dallas?
Maybe, yeah.
I think it was played at Texas Stadium.
Yeah, that's right. There was so many people there,
in Dallas, and that's where the guy screamed it. Because we weren't in Austin.
No, and that was because, you're right.
That's what happens. They play that shit in Dallas.
Son of a bitch.
Those motherfuckers.
Someone will tweet us and correct us. It doesn't matter.
Well, we've done it now.
So
we really stepped in it.
Yeah, we did. We definitely did. We fucked it up now. He said, so we might try this play out. So Rentzel said he didn't take it seriously.
Okay.
And he was like, he's not going to fucking put me in the game. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to quit. He said, though, that there was a girl he wanted to impress that was headed south, and so he figured he'd tell her that, give me a ride. I'm on the Oklahoma football team, and maybe it'll impress her, and I can hook up with her, right? So he says, quote, the engine froze up somewhere around past Ardmore. And he said, we walked about 4 miles. I remember walking across the Red River Bridge, thinking the weekend was just falling apart. A farmer in a pickup truck picked us up. This is the beginning of a weird story. And we drove back, we rode in the back with a pig and a chicken to Gainesville.
It's planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, this is what's going on, to try to get to a football game, to maybe get a play in if you're there. I spent $50 on a cab to get to Dallas. That's a shitload of money back then. That's like $600 back then.
Right.
And began an almost impossible search for a hotel room, as we know.
I'm well aware.
We've done that. I was so discouraged about the weekend that I went to a party and drank a lot of beer. Mm-hmm. That's what he did the night before. He said that he also went to the state fair, as we'll talk about, because he got to the stadium. He said he used his last dollars to get to the stadium in a cab, and the security guard wouldn't let him in because his name wasn't in the program.
Yeah.
He wasn't that the guy he didn't even have a list. He just had the program, and he was like, I don't see you in here, buddy. And so he tried 4 times going to each fucking entrance. Nobody would let him in. So he ended up going to the Texas State Fair, which was going on nearby.
Right in the Tilt-A-Whirl instead.
Yeah, and wandered around. He went and wandered around. He ate hot dogs. Somehow he got some hot dogs out of the deal. You're not supposed to be hungover eating hot dogs before a huge game like that. But
it's a bad idea.
Yeah. Finally, though, he's doing all this, and an OU trainer arrived during one of his attempts to try to get in after he had gone to the fair, and then he went back to the stadium to give it another shot, and the trainer walked in and was walking up and was like, no, he's with us. Yeah, he can come in. And so they fucking let him in. Otherwise, he had no way of getting in. He couldn't, text Bud Wilkinson. It's 1964.
There's nothing
1962. Yeah, there's no way to get a hold of this guy. He couldn't even, and the security guards weren't going to be like, yeah, we'll call the head coach for you. They were like, yeah, get out of here, kid.
Sure
Go away. Sure you are. Yeah, some 19-year-old kid standing there. So he goes and he's in there, and he suits up, and somehow he said, much to his surprise, Wilkinson sent him into the game at the end of the first half. And he says, quote, I got to the huddle and didn't know what to do.
That's not good at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He said, I asked Robbie, are you scared? He didn't answer. And I asked him again. His eyes were as big as saucers. This is the quarterback.
Yeah.
And so at that point, he ended up catching a 39-yard pass on that play.
Wow.
Yeah, he said, I kept running and running and decided to turn around, and just as the ball hit me in the chest, it was pure luck. He just ran, hey, oh shit, a ball. Yeah. Fuck, it hit me.
I got beer and Nathan's hot dogs burps, and now I got a football.
Oh, God, it's in my
Jesus.
hand. He said, if I turned around an instant later, it would have hit me in the head, and I would have been laughed off the field. He wouldn't even have turned around. There's no way we hit that pass again if we tried it 1,000 times.
Wow.
That's pretty hilarious. He said, I got back to the huddle, and I was tired and had a headache. He's hung over his balls, and he's eating hot dogs. I really wanted to get out of there. I said, hey, how about we try the same play to the other side? And that was a 34-yard pass.
Wow.
That turned out to be Oklahoma's lone touchdown for the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? I don't know. Do that again? Let's just reverse it.
Reverse it. I don't know.
How about that?
My head hurts. I'll be over there. And it works.
If we don't do this, I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, I'm going to puke. Now,
and he got a touchdown.
They lost the game 9-6, but that was their only score was that touchdown.
So he's a hero.
He's a hero. He said, if I had a most treasured moment of my time at OU, that would be it. My life went down an entirely different path because of that game. There was no way I was going to quit after that. Uh-huh. And that's the thing. That him turning around for 1 second late at the right time. Really leads to a lot of weird shit going on.
How about that?
He would have just been a guy you'd never heard of that quit the Oklahoma football team and probably would have got a job, would have went to college, would have got a job where his dad would have, nepotism somewhere. Right. He would have been sitting in some office with a suit on.
He would have done fine.
Making a ton of money, I'm sure. He would have entered in as some junior vice president, some bullshit like that. It wouldn't be like
if we never started these podcasts.
No. He wouldn't be homeless. He would be... He'd be fine. He just wouldn't have had the same life at all. He'd just been like a successful Oklahoma City businessman, which it's not quite what he was looking for.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a micro-city built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories, 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
So turns out those are the only 2 passes he caught all season.
Really?
Yeah, but it gave the coach, looked at him differently then after that, though.
Sure.
It's a guy who came through in the clutch. 62 Oklahoma's 8-3, and they go all the way to the Orange Bowl, and they lose 17-0 to Alabama in the Orange Bowl, which is Bear Bryant.
Yeah.
So his training camp's crazier.
Right.
I killed more players than you, so we win. 17-0. 17 dead players to 0. I win.
I lynched 2 linemen.
I swear to God. I'm not taking no shit. And they were white. Yeah. This wasn't a racial thing.
No.
We just said, God damn, you missed that goddamn block again. I'm going to string you up. And we did.
I'm going to show you, Tucker.
I don't believe in racial inequality, but I will hang a fat offensive lineman at the drop of a hat now. Don't get me wrong.
No matter the color.
No matter. No matter. He also finished with 2 rushing touchdowns that year as well, because he was mainly a running back. The season ends with the Oklahoma initiation.
Oh boy.
Which is about the craziest thing I have ever heard in my life.
Jam handfuls of sand up guys' asses.
That would be better than what. Oh, I'm not even kidding. Where do you hear this, Jimmie? There would be so many prison sentences handed down if anyone did anything like this. The university would be shut down. They wouldn't have a football team anymore if this.
This isn't fraternities. This is just the football team.
This is the football team. This is not a and we've heard plenty about broomsticks up the asses and things like this. Yeah. This is the worst thing I've ever heard. Buckle up, everybody. Okay. This is for all first-year varsity lettermen. So you finish your season, you get your letter, and then they do this to you.
This is
to
for
initiate
people that mattered to the team.
This is to show that you matter now.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. Good job for making it. Now let's completely. You wouldn't want to make it if you knew this was coming. Okay. They're ordered to crawl backwards for 50 yards. Okay, first of all, which, I mean, that's annoying, but you're an in-shape 19-year-old kid. You should be able to do that.
Probably stings your calves a little bit.
A little bit, but I mean, you know what? That's just, do that. Oh, look at you. You fell. You got off your balance. I mean, that's one of those things. Maybe they get tangled up once in a while. Somebody falls, gets in the other guy's way. That would be nothing, except he says you did that with, quote, grapes up our asses. So
plural or just one?
Grapes.
Oh boy.
Grapes up
like
our asses.
Like a bundle?
I don't know if they're individual grapes pushed in one at a time or if they cram a whole bunch of them in there. I don't know how they would do that.
On the stem?
I feel like they would probably burst a lot of them. So, but either way, I assume.
I wonder if it's just one grape between your cheeks, or is it in the stink star?
Up our asses.
Oh,
not
boy.
in our asses. Up our asses. Yeah, I feel like they dipped them in castor oil and just fucking
lube it in.
I got 26 of them up in the wide receiver. So they're.
Oh, boy.
That's nothing. Mm-hmm. That's the beginning.
So you crawl backwards 50 yards with grapes up your ass.
Up your ass.
Right.
Okay. That's the start.
That's stage one.
During this, you are also. I don't even know how do you collect this? Where did they get this from? Where did they get this from? Think about if you're a woman and you're asked for this. Okay. They are forced to, quote, drink menstrual fluid.
Wait.
How do they collect this?
What is it?
They have, like, the cheerleading squad has to, like, fucking line up or what? I don't know how they do this.
Period blood.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
That's what they're making.
Shots or, like, chugs?
I don't know if this is, like, a milkshake or if
like
we're doing a smoothie
or
they mix fruit in it at all, but...
Keg stands of it?
I don't know how much, but some. While you're crawling backwards with grapes up your asses.
You have to chug this at the same time?
This is during this, okay? That's not all.
Oh, boy.
That's not all. Mm-hmm. While this is happening, while you're trying to drink this and having grapes up your asses crawling backwards, you are, quote, constantly shocked with a battery-powered cattle prod.
How do you even move? How do the grapes not come out? And how do you keep the liquid in the cup?
Well, if they come out, you got to put them back and start over. That's the point. You got to get through this gauntlet to then now you're part of the squad there.
Oh, my.
The coaches... You would think they would not know about this.
Yeah.
This would be like a team-only thing. No. They observed as well to, quote, ensure that the proceedings didn't get too sadistic.
Wow.
That's too sadistic.
How much more do you want?
What would be too sadistic? Let's cut this guy's foot off? Right. What else could you do? This is horrible.
Oh.
He's shocking him with a cattle prod after he anally fucking violated him and made him drink fucking people's bodily fluids, and this is insane.
I don't like them calling it menstruation
fluid. That's what I use a quote from the thing.
I get it.
Yeah,
sounds like transmission fluid. Yeah, it doesn't even sound like what
which
it really
I'd rather
is.
probably drink.
Right.
At least
it's
it didn't
way
come from a
worse
person.
Than
Yeah. At least it didn't come from a person. I don't want to drink anything that came out of another human being.
This is terrible.
This is terrible.
That's because we like you.
That's because you did good.
Think about if we hate you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. What happens if you're not a popular member of the team? Fuck.
I'd rather be shitty and be cut.
That's what I mean. So 1963, he's made it through.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. The team goes 8-2. They don't go to a bowl, which is super weird because a team like Oklahoma can go to a bowl. I don't know if they put in a bid for a bowl that didn't work out, so then it was too late, or if they didn't want
8-2. You'd think that any bowl would want you there because you probably got diehard fans for that.
Oh yeah, and you're 10th in the they were 10th in the AP poll. They finished too. So I don't know why there was no bowl for them, but who knows why. He rushed for 59 rushes that year, 59 carries and 387 yards, 6.6 yards of carry, which is pretty good, and 2 touchdowns. Very versatile. They liked, he was good at catching passes out of the backfield because he's fast.
Yeah.
Also, he's a punt and kick returner and the team's primary punter as well.
Oh my God.
So yeah, he's a punter, halfback, wide receiver, kick. He's a very versatile guy.
He's a cog in this machine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's a valuable guy to have on your team, especially in college. In the pros, they don't know really where that translates to, but he also passes for 8. He has 8 passes that year too. 4 for 8 for 58 yards and an interception. Oh. So I don't know. They had him probably an option play, I would assume.
Some sort of wildcat formation.
Something. So 1964, Oklahoma has a problem with guys getting kicked off the team and people leaving the team. There's a lot of strife going on there. They also have a shitload of, this is kind of, Oklahoma in the early 60s is one of the main beds of steroids. This is where steroids came from. Here, and then one of the guys who was introducing this eventually went out to San Diego to work with the Chargers and introduce steroids to the NFL.
Really?
So, but in this Oklahoma, these guys were, a lot of them are on steroids. Like most of them are on a shitload of steroids. And this is Diana Ball. This is just fucking mass. Here you go. Here's a bunch of muscles.
Do they get that stuff from like the cattle industry? Is that the start of it?
Who knows? I don't know where they ended up getting it. I could see that being
a thing.
Even Lance Rentzel said that he was juiced up in 1964 as well. So as a, even the running back who's like a, flanker running back there who's a speed guy is even juicing in 1964. Crazy. Everybody is on the team. It's wild. I don't know about everybody, but the team only goes 6-4-1, so I guess it doesn't help that much.
Not much. Maybe drink some more of that fluid.
Maybe. Yeah, that's possible. Get the cattle prod out.
Seemed to do better the year before.
Exactly, with the fluid drinking. They do go to the Gator Bowl that year and lose to Florida State 36-19. During his senior year, he is the team's top receiver, which is only 268 receiving yards. They were like an all-running team.
Got it.
He was also the punter. He averaged 40.5 yards a punt.
That's great.
That's a really good average, actually. He had 491 rushing yards, which was second on the team, and 5.4 yards a carry, which was second only to Gale Sayers, who's a Hall of Fame, legendary, amazing running back.
Ever.
Yeah, it's so not too shabby. Yeah. He's also the conference's number 3 receiver, conference that is, and number 2 punter in the conference. So pretty goddamn good, I would say. They go to the Gator Bowl, only Lance does not get to play in the Gator Bowl.
Wow.
He and 4 other players are not allowed to play in the Gator Bowl because apparently they signed undated professional contracts. And they signed contracts with,
because they're going to go in, right?
So you sign a deal with it. They found out about it, and so they're not allowed to play.
Wow.
So yeah, because there was such a lapse between the end of the season and the bowls.
Sure.
That's what they would do.
You don't know when it's going to happen.
This was very common. They'd sign before the bowl.
Sure.
So now they're disqualified for playing in the Gator Bowl. So.
Well, that's also pretty fucked up because it doesn't really matter to them. Never mind.
No, that's their last game.
Anyway.
That's their last game. They probably wanted to play, I assume, but I mean, whatever.
At that point, why would you want to when you're risking life and limb for this?
Yeah, they didn't look at it back then, though, like that as much. The injury wasn't as much of a threat back then for some reason. They never looked at it. They had to play. They used to play a game every year where the Super Bowl champion would play a college team.
Wow.
Every year. Imagine if they did that now. They would never let Super Bowl champions play a football game against kids.
No.
It would never happen. What if
for
one of them
the
gets injured?
Safety of those children.
And for the safety.
B, for the safety of these guys.
Some kid takes his knee out. Now
rely on these guys. Some of these guys won't even make the NFL and rely on them.
Most of them.
Right. Yeah. Rely on them to abide by the rules and not hit late.
That's bullshit. No way. So back then it was just games were games. People played games. He was named, this will go over all of his achievements at Oklahoma. He was named one of 10 outstanding freshmen. He made the dean's list 3 varsity letters for football, obviously, was an all Big 8 halfback, so all conference, played in the Senior Bowl, which is the college all-star game there. He was on the college all-star squad and was listed as well in the, quote, who's who in American colleges and universities.
So even through college, he's doing great.
He does great. Everybody likes him. He's handsome. He's beloved. He's a great athlete. He's smart. Everything is so fucking easy for him. So the NFL's never like that, though. It's a little harder. This is what he says about college. After all of that, seems like he did well. He says that about the whole thing, he said, what had I really learned in those 4 years? Nothing. So he says college was a complete waste for him.
Okay.
Didn't learn shit. Now, there's an article here before the draft saying the 2 most versatile players are Lance Rentzel and Gale Sayers. There's a whole article about how you want Rentzel or Sayers as your guy if you want a versatile player. And they're saying Sayers is a better pure running back.
Sure.
Because, I mean, good God, is he amazing. But they're actually comparing Rentzel favorably to him, saying Rentzel can do everything. So if you need him to catch out of the backfield, he's great at that. He can even be your punter.
Yeah.
Like, they're actually like... It's really weird. The one thing says Sayers does everything but punt. Rentzel does everything, period. Literally, that's hilarious.
Including punt, motherfucker. What do you got on that, Sayers?
Including punt, yeah, with your Hall of Fame ass. What are you doing with your world-class speed and amazing moves?
Enjoy your career.
So the 1965 NFL draft comes around here, and number 1 overall, Jimmy?
Gale Sayers.
No.
Who?
Tucker Fredrickson.
Oh, my.
Yeah, nice pick, Giants. Good job.
Out of where?
He is a running back from Auburn who played in 66 career games and had a grand total of 2,209 rushing yards.
A lineman?
A running back.
Oh,
Number 1 overall. Terrible. Number 2, San Francisco picks Ken Willard.
Oh, my.
Another running back who, at least he played 132 games, but not exactly lighting the world on fire.
That's a great career.
Doing that. Number 3 overall is Dick Butkus.
Okay.
So there's your Hall of Fame, iconic.
Unbelievable guy.
Yeah, one of the,
Was he drafted by the Bears?
Yeah, drafted by the Bears whole
Played
year.
a whole career there.
Number 4 overall is the Bears have this pick as well.
What?
Yeah, they might probably trade it or something.
Yeah.
Trade picks. Gale Sayers.
All right.
So they got Butkus and Sayers back to back. Hall of
3
Fame,
and
Hall
4.
of Fame. Yeah, 2 Hall of Famers in the same draft for them.
My.
Which is pretty impressive. Number 5 overall, Craig Morton, who you might know as the later Broncos quarterback for their 70 Super Bowl runs.
Wow.
Yeah, Craig Morton was drafted.
How much longer did he play after that?
A long time.
Yeah.
To 1982 he played. So,
goddamn, 15-year career, 16?
Yep. He was drafted by Dallas and ended up later on in Denver, obviously. Joe Namath, number 12 overall, by St. Louis, and they picked him. He only was so far down is because they knew the AFL was paying him more money and he was going to go there. So, I mean, otherwise, finally, 2nd round, number 23 overall. By the way, that's the 2nd round. Now that's 1st round.
Right.
Number 23 overall, Lance Rentzel.
How about that?
So, he is chosen in there. So, I mean, he's chosen with the pretty good group there. And I was looking in the 3rd round. Fred Biletnikoff was in the 3rd round.
Really?
You could have had him, who's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Yeah, Marty Schottenheimer in the 4th round, the coach there.
Angry little man.
He was great. I confused him with the ballet dancer when I was a child.
Really?
So, yeah, because I watched NFL films, and I would see Biletnikoff, and then there was Baryshnikov, and I thought they were the same person.
Oh, my.
The same way I thought Eddie Murray and Eddie Murphy were the same person. We were talking when I was like 4.
Eddie Murray who?
Eddie Murray and Eddie Murphy I thought were the same person. And I thought Eddie Murphy was the most hilarious person in the world, and then he also hits 35 home runs a year and switch hits. I thought Eddie Murphy was Superman when I was like 5, because I was like, he's hilarious and he hits 300. Right. This is amazing. Like, how the fuck does he do this?
How does he have time for all this?
I remember as a kid going, how does he do everything? Like, it was the most amazing thing. And I thought that the ballet dancer was also the wide receiver when I was a child. It's like, wow, he came over here to dance ballet and they got him into football. That's cool. Like, that was, as a 5-year-old, that was how my events, how they must have went. I don't know what I was thinking. Now, the AFL draft is going on at the same time. American Football League. This is a rival league, and at this point, they are competing tooth and nail for talent. I mean, they are huge contracts going back and forth. This is kind of where money started to swell because there was competition. You couldn't just pay a guy whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
You could go to the other league and make more. So why the hell would he take your money? This Joe Namath goes number 1 overall here and ends up obviously playing in the AFL for the Jets and becoming a legendary Hall of Famer. Kansas City drafted Gale Sayers.
Really?
Actually, also number 5 overall, but he doesn't sign there. Also, Dick Butkus drafted by Denver, Jimmy.
Oh, God damn it.
Denver, but he went to the Bears.
Of course he did.
Bolitnikoff drafted by Oakland here, and that's where he ended up going.
Stayed there for his whole career.
Yeah, he ended up actually doing that. So, I just wanted to do that. And then 6th round, end of the 6th round by Buffalo, Lance Rentzel is picked.
All right.
So he's been chosen by both leagues, which gives him leverage, which is good for him, actually. He is thinking maybe he won't even play football.
Oh, boy.
He thought about for a while until he got signed. He was a mathematics major in college, which that's not a lot of football players doing that.
On the dean's list.
On the dean's list, who's also interested in computer science in the mid-'60s when that was
at the beginning of it.
Cutting edge. And he thought for a while that he might try to enter the Harvard Graduate Business School because he had gone to his prep school and everything. He's a valedictorian. He might actually get in.
He's a great student.
And especially with all his athletic feats and everything, they'll let him in. But and we'll talk about it. He also has a song copy written when he was 15 years old.
15
as well. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
It's not Happy Birthday.
And it's not Happy Birthday. he would have been crushing if it was. But he ended up saying that, once he got into it, he was like, I'm going to stay and play football and not be like male legally blonde, basically.
It's the second time he almost quit.
He almost quit again. Yeah, it's hard, Jimmy.
Yeah.
So he plays for the Vikings. That's who he's drafted by, Minnesota. And that's who he goes and plays for. His first year, they are 7-7 under coach Norm Van Brocklin, who's a Hall of Fame player.
Sure.
Fran Tarkenton is the quarterback. He's another Hall of Famer. This is the beginning of his career, Fran Tarkenton. And Rentzel right away has problems in Minnesota.
Really?
He's injured all the time.
Oh, no.
Always hurt. Hurt so often his teammates named the Whirlpool, where you'd go sit in, quote, the SS Rentzel, because he was always in it because he's always banged up.
Hilarious.
Yeah, they said he hated him. Norm Van Brocklin, the coach, didn't like him. He didn't like his attitude. He didn't like his blonde hair and his what he called his carefree attitude, and he called him Joe College. He said he just acts like a college kid. He's not a pro. Joe College over here.
Don't even call him by anything that is related to him.
Just Joe College over here with his, because he's just a college kid. Didn't care about him enough. He does play in 11 games, but he's a backup running back, and he's kind of a kick returner and has a lot of injuries and all sorts of shit like that. He does, though, in his rookie year, set the record for the longest kickoff return in franchise history.
How far is it?
101-yarder.
Oh, from end zone to end zone.
End zone to end zone on a kickoff here, which was broken in 2007. It held till 2007.
Holy shit.
So that's pretty impressive. Yeah,
Who did that?
That was Andre Allison, did a 104-yarder, and then franchise record was broken. I remember watching this play, 2013, the 109-yarder.
My God.
That was remember that all the way at the back of the end zone? It was Cordarrelle Patterson who did it. So that was
last year?
That was 2013.
Oh, okay.
You can't get any longer than that, or else you'd be in the stands.
Right.
So
you'd be out of bounds. It's a touchback.
Yeah, I think that's all they'll credit you for, because 110 would be completely out of bounds.
Right.
Yeah, so that's as long as you can get. 1966, the Vikings go 4-9-1 that year. He plays in 9 games, only starts 1, has 2 receptions for 10 yards and no touchdowns.
That is ugly.
He's just kind of hanging out, basically. Yeah. He gets a little bummed out.
Sure.
Doesn't play a lot. He's injured a lot, too, during this.
Injured, don't play a lot. Team sucks dicks.
Team sucks. You live in Minnesota, which we love Minneapolis. It's awesome, but not in the winter.
Not if you're losing.
If you're losing.
When we go there, we're winning.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're going there, we're seeing people we like, and we go there during the summer, like last time, and it was great. But if you go there in the winter and you're sad anyway, and you're losing and not playing, and you're injured, it can get a little depressing.
Get
up
on
there.
A plane in 9 degrees.
Yeah, it's tough. So he's a little bit, September of 66, he's banged up a little bit. And September's still nice there. Winter doesn't start for another week or so. It's pretty good.
Summer just wrapped up.
There's barely 6 inches of snow on the ground.
Right.
I mean, it's not bad at all. It's beautiful there. He's nursing an injury, and he read George Orwell's 1984, which I don't know if you were forced.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
It's depressing.
No. I'm sure it is.
It's a depressing book. It's a book about a totalitarian, it's not a good... It's not good. No. It's not going to uplift you. And especially in the 60s, that you think, wow, that could be the future, man. Sure. Like, they're saying that this is what's going to happen in the future. Obviously, it's a work of fiction, but still. Right. So he gets a little bit depressed, as anybody would. And he also had just broken up with his girlfriend. Oh, no. So now they're losing. He's injured, broke up with his girlfriend, and he's reading 1984.
He's rejected and reading End of the World shit?
Yeah, reading End of Your Freedom shit. Yeah. And then also his mother had been taken to the hospital for an operation at that point. Uh-huh. So, yeah, he's just very distraught. He's falling apart, and he chooses... very, very in all of what have we done here? Let's see, 237 episodes so far, and then 201 for Small Town Murder. So we've gotten a good 438 episodes in. We've seen people act in weird ways. Sure. We've seen people react very strangely to some things. This might be the oddest reaction to a depression I've ever heard of in my life.
What's his unraveling lead to?
Well, guess what he does. Just guess.
Shit.
Guess what this causes.
Go drinking and drive somewhere.
You would imagine so,
drive back home or something.
Right? No.
What'd he do?
Well, he says this... Wow. He said 1984 depressed him and caused him to doubt his beliefs.
Okay.
As well was the other thing. I don't know what that did. He says, quote, I drove past a park and I saw two young girls.
Oh.
Okay, that's the first thing.
I don't like that.
Yeah, and I saw two young girls. He drove over to them, called them over to the car, and exposed himself to them.
Yeah, I'm depressed. Look at it.
These are 11-year-old girls.
Look at this depressed dick.
Yeah, look at my dick.
Wow.
I'm depressed. Come here, kids. Take a gander at my cock.
Oh, my word.
I don't know what about that would make him feel better.
A to B is a tough road. I can't get there.
I don't know why he wanted to show them this. I don't know what wire that is crossed, where you're like, I want to show children my dick. I don't want to touch the kids or make them touch my dick or anything, but I really want them to see my dick.
Yeah.
That's creepy and weird. And one step away from touch my dick.
Yeah, but girls his age reject him, so there's there's got to be some mental thing here.
Well, it's not the girls his age either, because wait till you see later on. It's so fucking strange, though, that he does it, that no one knows why he did it.
Yeah.
It's so out of character. But they didn't have the psychology that we do now. They didn't even do, like, FBI didn't even do profiling yet back then. So there was no, like, this is what a weirdo looks like, or this is what a sex pervert does.
And this is the map to get from sanity to insanity.
Yeah, they just kind of looked at people as indiviджuals and not as a case. Yeah, and they looked at him and they were like, why would he do this? We don't understand it. So they were so confused by it that they charged him with indecent exposure. And then they were so confused by it, they just let him plead to disorderly conduct and basically dismissed the whole thing. All he had to do was promise to get psychiatric treatment. Promise. And then he would get just disorderly conduct and just get out of my court.
Get out of here, weirdo. This is gross.
What? I mean, that seems...
Well, I mean, knowing what we know today, I wish we knew
that's
this.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
And not only that, this was like they swept this under the rug. This is not like
don't document it and keep track of him. Just get him out of here.
Newspaper archives like crazy, and it is really difficult to find a report of this from then. A report comes out later, but at the time, it wasn't. Minnesota Vikings takes his dick out to a fourth grader. That never came up.
That's a smidge horrifying.
Well, yeah. Well, wait till you hear how horrifying it is. This is the silverest of silver, this story. All sorts of silver hair and a silver helmet, even as the Cowboys go, because they are the most silver team I've decided after this week, especially back then. I don't know about now, but back then, certainly. So this is even scarier that they just let him off with nothing, because a police report from this incident also noted that several residents of the Highland Park neighborhood in St. Paul complained that Rentzel had exposed himself in the presence of small children on 3 other occasions.
What the hell is happening?
He's going around serially showing his cock to children, and they're not taking this seriously. That's dangerous. That's a man.
That's right. That's a man showing a pattern.
Right. Of I want to take my dick out with kids around. This isn't like with anybody. He shows a lady, he shows a guy, then he shows a kid. This is, I'm looking for small children to show my dick to.
Right.
This is creepy.
This is the mushroom tip of the iceberg.
Mushroom tip of the iceberg, sticking out of the water like a hazard.
Gross.
It's fucking gross. That is just hoping someone's gonna go. What's that? And touch it. I guess I don't know what his fucking end game is.
That's horrifying. Oh man. Like in Airplane, when they ask, "Have you ever seen a grown man naked?"
Yeah.
Like it's hilarious
because it's ridiculous,
right? But when as a child, when you've seen a grown man naked, that question
not as funny.
It brings no. When I hear him say it, when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, that we're not supposed to see that.
No,
that's why
it's
crazy."
a joke,
right?
Yeah, that's
awful.
This isn't good. So. It's swept under the rug, though, and they don't care about it. As a matter of fact, here, that year, he only played in 9 games. He had some ankle injuries. He did average 20.1 yards on 9 kickoff returns and only caught 2 passes, though. But they are so kind of don't know what to do with him at that point that they trade him.
Yeah.
He is traded on May 2nd, 1967 to the Dallas Cowboys.
Not our problem.
Not our problem. In exchange for a 3rd-round draft pick, which turned out to be an offensive lineman named Mike McGill, who later on would invent the McTwist. No, that's not the skateboarder Mike McGill. That'd be amazing if it was. 300-pound guy.
Doing any skateboard trick at all.
And he would have been like 50 years old then, a 50-year-old 300-pound guy in the 80s just twisting. So 1967, he goes to the Dallas Cowboys. And this was like a much cooler move for him than the Vikings going to the Cowboys.
This is a cooler way to get to Dallas than before.
Yeah, than hitchhiking in a farmer's truck here.
Wait, is it cooler? Wait a minute.
Traded. Not traded.
Not for the reason.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got exiled for showing your dick to a kid. Maybe not. Yeah. So 1967 on the Cowboys, they are 9-5 under Coach Tom Landry, who was there for 50 years or whatever, 40 years, and 25 years. They win against the Browns in the divisional round of the playoffs because the Browns were in the NFC still then, 52-14.
Wow!
So an ass whooping. They lose in the championship game though to the Packers 21-17, and that is the Ice Bowl, the famous Ice Bowl with the below zero.
Right.
And Rentzel actually has a great day that day.
He played in this.
He played in that, yeah. Wow. He's in there. 14 games that year. Started all 14 games. 58 receptions, 996 yards.
Wow.
Has a great year. I think leads the league in receptions and was 2 yards behind Bob Hayes in the league in yards. If he had gotten 4 more yards and Hayes had 2 more yards, it would have been the first time in NFL history that a team had 2 1,000-yard wide receivers on the same team.
Really?
Yeah, because passing wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
So that would have been the first time ever, would have been that year, if they got 6 more yards total between them. Not too shabby. They convert him into a flanker where he becomes a starter because he's fast, and it's basically a wide receiver back then. He's averages 17.2 yards a reception this year.
That's great.
Which is terrific. Yeah. And 8 touchdowns and has a 74-yard catch as his long. So hell of a year.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a year for him. In the 10th game against the Redskins, he set a franchise record with 13 receptions for 223 yards.
Jesus.
So crushed it. And
Thanksgiving Day game too.
He owned it. That's there. And he also he was in the Ice Bowl and scored a 4th quarter go-ahead touchdown that the Packers, it didn't matter because the Packers won, but when he got the touchdown, it put the Cowboys ahead in the 4th quarter.
Incredible.
So not too bad. 1968 Cowboys, they're 12-2. So pretty badass. Problem is they lose in the first round of the playoffs to the Browns.
Oh, that's a stinger.
Yeah, 31-20. This is post-Jim Brown, I think, too. But Lance is going to do something to celebrate it.
Yeah.
And that is, he's going to release some songs.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. He does music, Jimmie.
No.
Oh, another one that thinks they're a musician.
No.
First of all, I found we'll talk about his first copyrighted effort here. I found
when he was 15?
Yeah, I found a May 19th, 1958 copyright in the copyright. This is how deep I'm trying to get on this shit. Literally, patreon.com/crime.
Copyright office.
I found a copyright of his from 1958, and there are no more Lance Rentzels, trust me, because I go deep on that too. And it's called Conglomeration Boogie.
That's a 15-year-old wrote that song?
Conglomeration Boogie.
I don't think I knew that word when I was 15.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the first time he heard it and liked the sound of it and wrote a song about it, but Conglomeration Boogie.
What the fuck is it about?
Written by Lance Rentzel, copyright Lance Rentzel, May 19th, 1958.
I kind of want to hear that song.
I do too, but that one is not. I can't find that one anywhere. But I can find his 1968 recordings, and I have it right here, and I will play it into the microphone. Absolutely. It's Lance Rentzel. It's on Columbia Records.
Really?
So I mean, it was a real fucking thing,
right?
A real thing called. What is it here? Oh God, Jesus, the name of it. Looking. And these are, when I say it's apostrophes. Yeah. Looking like something that ain't.
Oh, no.
That's what it's called.
What the fuck?
I don't know what. I was hoping that you would know what that means, because looking like something that ain't. I don't know. If it was that it ain't, that would make sense, but there's very little sense made here. So
it leaves. That leaves your verses up to whatever you want them to be at that point.
Yeah,
when your chorus doesn't make any sense.
Could be. You want to hear it?
Yeah, I do.
All right, here we go. Here's the picture of the 45.
It's a great look. It's a great look. It's a legit album.
Let's look. It's Columbia Records.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, it's got static.
Oh, horns.
Yeah.
It's got like a little.
It's got some fucking soul to it, James. No.
Okay. Sounds like a sitcom theme song.
Oh, James. He's rhyming ain't and can't. Oh, no.
It's Oklahoma. You're allowed to do that.
It's hard.
It's weird.
It's hard to get into it, though.
Well, it's like the music of Tom Jones, but with a country singer.
Right.
It's a strange combination. It's got horns and like
he's trying to get a groove.
It's very strange.
And
One thing I hate
ain't
is a
and
lying
can't.
woman. Something about a woman. It's something anti-woman. He doesn't like some woman. I
He's
don't
not
know.
happy with something.
So looking like something that ain't
Oh, boy.
is his one big single there. You guys can. It's on YouTube if you want to hear the rest of it, and just wanted to put a little bit of it.
Wanna but can't.
Wanna but can't. And then he also releases Beyond Love as well.
Okay.
Which is another one that we should I cue Beyond Love up?
Yes.
Maybe let's see Beyond. Where the hell is it now? It should be right here. Oh, now I got to find Beyond Love. This isn't good here. Lance Rentzel, where is it? I want Beyond Love, goddammit. Where is it? They're trying to keep giving me looking like something that ain't. And I'm not having it. I want Beyond Love. There it is. All right, let's see what we got for Beyond Love. Let's see how this works.
And go. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Burt Bacharach.
All right. Is this him?
That guy plays in the NFL?
It's not him.
James, I'll be honest with you. This is the best any athlete's ever done.
He's definitely the bad part of every song. He hires professional bands, obviously, because the music's all good and grooving and shit, and then he's like, I'm just standing here singing songs, can't and ain't rhyme.
This is what happens when you have rich parents.
Yeah, you think you can sing. You get very confident.
And you can afford to get some talent, and then but then you got to shine, fucker.
Hey, that's not
That's dull.
That is dull.
That is luster.
Whew, boy. So there you go. There's Lance Rentzel. He's known as a huge playboy as well. Obviously, he's a football playing, crooning kind of guy here. One story he tells about being in bed with a blonde that he met the night before, and early in the morning, while they were still sleeping, her ex came crashing into the room. He says that as a lead pipe grazed his ear, he says he remembers telling himself, I could see my parents picking up the paper and reading nude football star found murdered.
Bludgeon.
Bludgeoned with a lead pipe with his dick hanging out.
As it grazed his ear.
Oh, so
my.
Lance is living, he's living definitely a fast lifestyle here. He's going out, he's getting the girls, he's singing songs, he's crooning, he's drinking, he's partying.
You can't take it out on the person that fucked your somebody. You know what I
mean? No.
That's not their fault.
I would say not. I mean,
that's them cashing in their chips.
So that year, 68 also, in addition to having all that going on, 14 games started, 54 receptions for 1,009 yards, 18.7 yards per reception, and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's a star.
He sure is.
He's a star, and everyone forgot that his dick was out in front of children. No one remembers that at all at that point. He's doing great.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Yeah. So much so that in January 1969, he begins dating a star. He begins dating Joey Heatherton.
What?
Yeah, let's take Jimmie. That is Joey Heatherton.
My word.
Yeah, she's...
Hello, Joey. Hello, nurse. What is she in?
Nighty here. No, I don't know what this is. I don't know. She's popping her collar.
I mean, actress. What is she in?
I don't know. She's in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Bunch of 60s shit. She was like one of those hot 60s movie star, TV star women.
The hair, she's everything.
She's like kind of Anne Margarity a little bit. Like, yeah, she's definitely...
But also a little bit of Gidget or something?
Yeah, but she's also got a little bit of sensuality,
yes,
I think was the difference. She's not Girl Next Door. Right. She's like a little bit more...
She's a little flirty.
I think that's what she was. Here's the two of them together.
Okay. Oh, what?
Look at
that doesn't match at all.
No.
She is hot. Good Lord.
Yeah, she's smoking. He looks like a goober teenager holding a football. He's holding a football, sitting next to her.
2 hands.
It looks like her nephew or something.
Right.
Like, this is my nephew. He plays football, and I figured I'd let him do an interview.
We just cut his hair with a Flowbee.
100 a Flowbee. They forgot his eyebrows, though, because those things are wild. And this is the 60s, man.
That's incredible.
So, yeah, that's who he's going out with, Joey Heatherton. So... He even said with that, half-hearted, he went after her. Just it doesn't like to try.
Oh, good for you, sir.
Not big into trying. He said he went about it, called her occasionally, and he said several times that basically if she doesn't respond today, then I'll just give up on her, and then she would respond. So, yeah, he did that. And turns out, though, he ends up proposing to her, because that's what you did back then, and she said yes.
Oh, my.
So there you go. They end up, they're going to get married.
Kind of trying.
April 69, they get married. And it's a big giant. They get married at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York.
Wow.
It's a star-studded event. Sure. It's a star football player and a star TV and movie actress. And this is great. This is a big... famous thing. Newspapers are all over it. Pictures of them everywhere.
Awesome.
It's huge. Yeah, she's an actress and singer-dancer, obviously. He bought her ring at Tiffany's.
Yes.
And he even proposed and met her parents and proposed to her at the 21, the
club,
the restaurant. Yeah, with her parents there and all that.
Dinner club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. At one point, he said that Joey, quote, seemed to have everything I wanted in a woman: sincerity, intelligence, talent, glamour, and incredible beauty.
Okay.
She's the best.
Oh, I've seen her as well, sir.
Yeah, we get it. We all have seen her.
Yeah.
She likes watching him play a lot. A few interviews they do together, because they're on, like, they go on the TV circuit. They're going on all the talk shows together, because they're like they're a celebrity power
the first
couple.
Celebrity couple, right?
There was more. No, there was Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. That was the big one.
That's really it, right?
That was they were the it.
Are there any before that?
One of the greatest baseball players, Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, it happened, but I mean, this was the late 50s and early 60s is when really things got like that Hollywood gossip thing of this one's going out with this one, that one. That really became a source of people's
kicked into gear.
People got really interested in that shit for some reason.
It's riveting because you want to know like what you would do if you had talent.
Yeah. What would I do if I had options?
Yeah.
What if my life wasn't set before me in stone? What if I was miserable stone?
What if I wasn't an HVAC repairman?
Yeah,
and
miserable, unchanging stone.
What if I had a little bit of money in my bank account and I could leave this shithole?
Yeah, what would I
live
do?
In?
Well, it's true. That's what we all do. We all fantasize and
of course
out of stuff.
And then I could be who could I be and who would I be dating?
Yeah,
the answer is me and nobody, because look at my face.
We're still us.
I'm still me.
Is the problem. Now, Joey Heatherton says that she likes football, but the, quote, the guards and tackles completely confuse her, the offensive and defensive line. She doesn't get what they're doing.
Okay.
She said, quote, they just knock each other down and get up and do it again.
Sounds like you know real well.
Sounds like
you got the gist.
That's it right there. Good job. So at this point, this interview is being done, quote, in the couple's plush Central Park West apartment.
Wow.
So yeah, he's living quite the life, man.
He lives in New York City and works.
She has an apartment in New York City, so he's got.
So that's where he lives.
She's in L.A. and New York. She's bi-coastal here, so yeah, I don't know if she's by anything else, but definitely bi-coastal. Either way, he likes her. So she says, quote, I love it. It's just like the movies about dating a big-time football player. She said, I'll just happen to be on the West Coast that day, talking about if he's there. She says, quote, I've seen most of Lance's games. At first, I got so excited I squealed and screamed. It affected my voice. Now I jump up and down and limit myself to applauding.
Okay.
Can't get too crazy.
She's getting used to it.
They're talking about her, does she like watching football and does he like her movies? And in this, they start an article. This is how crazy, this is how cheer up bitch this time was. It says, Miss Heatherton, whose 37-20-34 figure has a sensuous beauty, had critics compare her with the late Marilyn Monroe, said she met Rentzel while filming a TV movie in Hollywood.
What?
That's her intro. Miss Heatherton, blah, 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 this is how big her tits are.
5'8", 120 pounds.
Great pussy. Like, what is happening?
Jesus Christ.
Top-notch gash.
Right.
What are we talking about here?
Miss Hetherington, who's good wool.
She's good. She's nice wool, I'm telling you. What the hell?
The fuck is happening?
Oh, my God.
She's a real piece of ass.
Got to snatch like a vice grip. Let me tell you something. Oh, by the way, let's finish up this article.
She's married to this guy.
Yeah, so she met while filming a movie in Hollywood. She said, quote, I began dating him in January. We married in April. Since then, I've become a real football fan. I get nervous sometimes when Lance is hit hard, but he always gets up. I think the prettiest play in football is the pass. When Lance catches one, it's a showstopper. So she's really...
she's into it.
Yeah, she said that she got to meet Joe Namath and found him fascinating. He was a ladies' man back then.
He sure was. He tries to keep it now.
Oh, he does.
I love when he gets drunk.
Like supplementary old people insurance right now commercials where he's like, they'll come to your house, pick you up, take you to appointments. They'll take meals right to your house. And he's like still trying to charm the old ladies. Right. It's like, this guy used to be cool.
I'll come over and finger you if you want.
I'll come over, I'll finger you. As long as you got some booze. You got some booze? You line up a couple of drinks, I'll get my fingers all ready for you. I'll shave my knuckles. Because they get awfully...
You betcha they do.
So she said, quote, when the Jets played an exhibition earlier this year in Dallas, Namath didn't play, but he came out on the field in that mod suit of his and long sideburns and pranced around like a prince. Everybody booed him. Namath didn't seem to care. He just kept prancing arrogantly around. He's the Sinatra of football.
Yeah, she's like, they were booing, but I dug it.
I liked it. Can we say this, and I mean it, grace? I mean, for fuck's sake, you took your dick out in front of children, and a movie star married you. Anyway.
It's the best life you could possibly live.
Great. You're making music. You got the Cowboys, and this broad's Grace, by far. Grace 3 times over.
He's won.
He has won.
No ring, but he's won.
I mean, married a movie star after exposing himself to 4th graders. That's shocking.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. That's very shocking, Jimmy.
Do you think she knows? She doesn't know.
I don't know. She probably didn't know.
She probably doesn't know.
It wasn't really that
right.
big of a thing, or I'm sure somebody was like, "Didn't he take his dick out?" But I'm sure.
I don't know. There's no Google.
It's the whole thing's shocking, Jimmy, but not as shocking as the sales, Jimmy. The sales
in Dallas or New York?
In Dallas in 1968.
Yeah.
Oh no, this one is from L.A. This one ad I found here, but I had to put it in anyway. Come on down for the Mobile Home and Recreational Vehicle Show.
Oh, boy.
Oh, baby, look at this. RVs and trailers, they have little drawings of them. Oh, my. Now open. Dodger Stadium.
Oh.
See everything that's new in mobile homes and recreational vehicles. Over 150 new mobile homes. My God. And you have to pay $1.75 to get into this.
$1.75 to come look
in
at trash?
Trash. Now, if you look at the trash and you don't want to buy any of the trash, you're going to keep your old trash, but you want to spruce it up a little, take it on down to Earl Scheib.
Oh, yeah.
Because he'll paint any car for $29.95.
The whole car.
Whole car.
A friend of mine, James, found one of those coupons in a house he was refurbishing, took it to Earl Scheib, and they fucking honored it.
Oh, yeah, they don't care.
$29.
They're like, someone wants their car? Yeah, whatever, come on in. I don't know. Paint your car. Yeah. It's not going to look good.
It didn't have an expiration date on the coupon, so they honored it, and then they obviously put it on the news because that's the reason
they get
you do
PR
it.
out of it. Every car infrared tunnel baked.
Oh.
Is what it says here. Yeah.
We'll make your car cancerous.
Wow,
come on in.
Come on in. Earl Scheib also paints and repairs doors or fenders without painting your car if you want him to do that too. So Earl Scheib will do whatever you want.
Pull the dent out and leave the cracked paint.
Then you can take your significant other, take Joey Heatherton on down to the 101 Ranch Rodeo.
Oh, yes.
In Ponca City, Oklahoma here, starring Rex Allen, Homer, and Jethro.
Oh!
Homer and Jethro are going to be here, Jimmy.
I
can't wait.
Stereotypical names of people in this too.
They'll be there. Oh, Jethro's coming? Shit.
Is it Tull or is it...
my cousin's going to be there? It says all exciting rodeo events, $7,000 in prize money will be given out.
Wow.
That's a very specific
$100
amount.
at a time.
Yeah. Box seats are $350. Reserve seats $250. That's expensive for back then. That's $30, $20.
I still want to get you to one of these.
That's no. I don't go places that smell like shit intentionally. I just don't.
I want to blindfold you.
So you've gone there.
Yeah.
You've taken your lady out. She likes the rodeo. Your freshly painted and baked car is over here. You know what? Now it's nighttime. Where are you guys going to go? Head out and see a movie, why don't you?
All right.
Why don't you see a movie? Go see, oh boy.
Hit the drive-in or what?
No, these are regular movies.
Okay.
Let's see. Here's one. Some of these are like pornos.
Oh, boy.
But the one theater says 2 Walt Disney hits, Love Bug and Parent Trap. Okay. So you can go see that.
Okay.
Or,
it's Herbie.
Herbie, yeah.
Yeah.
Or right next to it, you can see Sisters in Leather.
I like the other better. Scissors in leather.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Hot on Sin Island is another one.
Next to Herbie.
And then you can see 4 smash hits all in color at the Capri Theater. One is The Scissors Girl is the name of it. So
don't have that ticket upside down and go into Theater 9 thinking you're going into Theater 6.
It's a different one.
It's
also,
be a problem.
Caged Girl they have as well. And Obscene Couch is the name of the movie.
That's
Obscene Couch.
Casting couch is called Obscene
Couch. Also see, what is this? Oh, Shut Up and Deal is one. Plus, Alice in Acid Land is another one, which is 1968, so that makes sense. Alice, it's some sort of psychedelic. It's probably just all
it's probably just
around.
Alice in Wonderland, and they hand you a tab of acid when you walk in.
Yeah, some swirly. Go see The Good Guys and the Bad Guys. That's a movie. That's not quite the good, the bad, and the ugly. Knockoff. Then you can head on down to another theater here, and you can go see Easy Rider, which, as gross as that sounds, is a real movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a classic starring Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda and all of that. Or at the same theater, if you don't want to see it, you want to see a different motorcycle movie, you can see Naked Angels. It says Mad Dogs from Hell. It's got like a Hell's Angels guy with a chick on the back there.
Unbelievable.
And then if you want to go late night, like I said, you want to go, they have another showing of Alice in Acid Land here. And it says, This Is My Fairy Tale underneath it. And then you can also go see just the Cine 16 in downtown. It just says adults. And it says
16 theaters of
16 new underground films from Frisco. They are wild. That's what it says.
16 whacking.
What really goes on inside those apartments?
Gross.
I don't know what's going on. A lot of whacking going on there. So those were Prestokies. That's what they.
Boy,
if you remember from
that was like
Ed Wood.
60% of the theaters were tug theaters.
Oh yeah, it was all tugging.
Unbelievable.
You ever seen Ed Wood?
I have, but I don't remember that.
He goes to try to make the Glenn or Glenda movie, and it's about a man who wants to get a sex change, and so they're explaining like, how's this going to be in a theater? It's the 50s, and the guy who is what the fuck's his name from Dumb and Dumber,
the big guy?
The big guy, yeah. He's the producer, and he goes, those repressed Okies love this. They love this crap. They love it. Yeah, they eat it up. Yeah, those repressed Okies eat this shit up, he says.
Don't worry, they're going to love it.
They do. That's what it is.
They're going to yank to it.
They go to church on Sunday, and they're going to yank to something because they don't believe that. So, he's married at this point.
Yeah.
He's a married man, and normally he's used to going out and being a huge playboy and tearing it up at night. He says that him and his teammate Ralph Neely, who were Oklahoma teammates as well, are roomies in Dallas Cowboy camp the next year, and they made a bet. The first one to get fined by the team would owe the other one $100.
Okay.
So it's a little bet there. And Rentzel said it sounds like a decent bet here. He says that he also he's led the league in fines paid. Or he's led the team in fines paid since he's been there.
Really?
Yeah, he goes out and does whatever he wants.
Fining the shit out of him.
They fine him a lot. One guy, the Cowboys night watchman, once suggested Rentzel fork over $1,000 in advance and draw on it for his fine money. Why don't you just put $1,000 in a pot and then just...
Right.
Come on. I'm going to get you every game I fine you. Fines go into a pot for a team party, which has been dubbed the Lance Rentzel Memorial Party. It's all from him. It's just him paying for everything.
That's very funny.
It is funny. So they thought it would be easier, if they did that. So Lance says that for this, though, it's a life-changing decision. He says marrying Joey Heatherton, quote, the best catch of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. He says that now he's a family man. He's settled down. Won't be going out doing curfew shit anymore, breaking curfew. He said, quote, I've had my fun, but people thought I sneaked out more than I did. I just happened to get caught at the wrong time. But I got to figuring that I was hurting myself, wasn't getting enough sleep, was affecting my teammates to an extent. Well, I got married, and I didn't need to sneak out anyway. He says that he's going to win that $100. He says that the other day, though, his wife, Joey, visited him at camp, and he went out and sat with her in the car, lost track of time, and was late to a meeting and fined. So he ended up losing the bet. He said, quote, I was very mad at myself, but I made the same bet again. That's the last time I'll get fined, and I know Neely will get fined. So that's it, though. They said other than that, he has been completely clean now. They're like, it's weird. It's no fun. The sports writers all say it's no fun hearing about him anymore. He's boring now. Lance said they said they're reduced to telling old stories about him. Lance is an artist and also does sculpting. And at one point he made a sculpture to put under the blanket, so when they did room checks, he did like an Alcatraz thing. Yeah. One night, Dick Nolan, who was the Cowboys night patrolman, caught Lance putting it in the bed, basically.
Caught him putting the decoy in?
Oh, shit, yeah, he came in the room and he was doing that. So.
Oh, it's just, I'm going to fuck this.
Well, I was just going to fuck its mouth, I swear. That's what it is. Remember, I'm a weirdo. Remember that.
At least it's not a kid.
Yeah. See? So when he was with the Vikings one time, he raced, apparently, Norm Van Brocklin was doing bed check, and he ran into his room and jumped under the covers, and the coach came in and ripped the covers off.
Yeah.
So Lance said, quote, bet you're wondering why I sleep with my clothes on, huh? Shoes and everything.
I bet this looks weird.
Yeah. Also, upon one time he saw a woman in Dallas he didn't know, so he approached a DJ with a plan, and the DJ called, what is this? The DJ called the beauty with one of those "where is Grant buried" questions. She answered correctly, and he told her prize is a date with Lance Rentzel.
Okay.
Like an easy question, a trivia question. Like, hey, you've been selected to answer this question, and you win a prize. And she was like, I'm on the radio. Oh, my God. And he said, whatever it is, you won a date with Lance Rentzel of the Cowboys.
Eesh.
Yeah, that's a stalker move.
Yeah.
That's creepy as shit. That's either super creepy or like a wonderful romance in a movie that'll end in a grandchildren.
It's fine. It's fine if you just do that as a random
or it's
thing,
rapey.
But it's creepy when it's targeted at a woman.
Oh yeah,
super creepy.
Yep. He says he doesn't miss the bachelor days. He said, every marriage has a period of adjustment, particularly with people happily single like we were. But we get along extremely well, like to do the same things and have lots of fun. We have two different worlds. Each likes the other's world. Yeah, they're very different people, obviously. She really understands football better than you would think for one not exposed to it a lot, she says as well. And their apartment's only 45 minutes away from where they're practicing, and because Dallas practices, they do their training camp in California for some reason. They always do. Also, they have homes in New York and Dallas and Beverly Hills.
Oh, my.
It's a very nice life he's living here.
Jesus.
People say, how do you get along? And I'd say I'd rather have quality than quantity. There are times I'm away from her, but, I was away from her for 25 years. There was a rumor I was going to sneak her into camp, and he says he's not. What am I going to do with my 250-pound roommate then?
Yeah.
So there's that. July 69 here, he is going to open a quote Pearl Street warehouse. It's going to be a discotheque in Dallas.
Oh boy!
In October '69,
he's opening a bar,
opening a dance club basically in Dallas there in 1969. And they're in the paper every time they do anything.
Of course,
there's an article here from October 8th, 1969. Lance Rentzel, Joey Heatherton to be at Windmill Opener, and it's literally the opening of a dinner theater. I'm not kidding. I shit you not. When Bill Harvey opens his new Windmill Dinner Theater off the West Freeway with the Star Spangled Girl, they'll be there. Wow. Cowboys go 11-2. They lose in the divisional round of the playoffs to Cleveland again.
Oh no!
So they must hate the Browns at this point, but he does great. Lance, 14 games started, 43 receptions, 960 yards, 22.3 yards per reception.
Wow.
Leads the league,
yeah,
as a matter of fact, and 12 touchdowns, leading the league also. So he's a deep threat.
He's the best receiver in the league.
He's intents and purposes. He's one of the most dangerous.
Right.
Like, if you let him get away from you, he's gone, and you're screwed, basically. He's a big play guy. 1970, March 2nd, 1970, he and Joey are on the Merv Griffin show together.
Really?
Which was as culturally relevant. Yeah, exactly. 10:30 p.m. Merv's guests that night are Woody Allen, who at the time was a big comedian.
Huge.
Yeah. Jimmy Dean, as in
the sausage guy?
The sausage fame. Abbey Lane, which I don't know if...
That's a huge band, right?
No, that's a Beatles thing, but I don't know why it's ABBE Lane.
That's a band, right?
I don't know. And then Lance Rentzel, Joey Heatherton together, and then followed by Evel Knievel after them.
Awesome.
And then the Sunny Girls of Sweden.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Johnny Carson had Joe Frazier on that night, I saw.
Oh, my.
Yeah, Eddie Arnold and Jimmy Stewart.
It's like the biggest people in the world at the moment.
Hilarious. 1970 Cowboys, 10-4. They win the divisional round of the playoffs against the Lions in a score I've never heard in the playoffs before, 5-0.
Oh, what? Yeah.
5-0.
A field goal and a safety?
That's it, babe. 5-0.
Weird.
Yeah. Conference championship, they win as well. They win 17-10 over the 49ers and go all the way to the Super Bowl against the Baltimore Colts, where they lose 16-13.
Johnny Unitas was a bad man.
They made it there at that point. So he plays in 11 games, starts 11, 28 receptions, 556 yards, 19.9 receptions, or 19.9 yards per reception, 5 yards.
Yeah.
They're talking about articles. Here's one, quote, "He's handsome. He's married to a beautiful movie star. He has it all. He has so much." One writer, this is amazing, one writer, a sports writer, began an article. This is the opening of his article. Quote, "Lance Rentzel is my kind of guy."
That's going to sting, sir. Take it from me.
I'm going to leave that out there. That happened in October of 1970.
Yeah.
Lance Rentzel is my kind of guy.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's the opening line of the article.
I should have been a sports writer, apparently.
Now, the next month, this is going to sting.
Yeah.
My kind of guy.
It took 4 weeks for it to bite him in the ass.
Only 4 weeks, which it could have taken a lot
That's
longer.
the podcast equivalent of 10 minutes.
Of 3 minutes, basically. November 18th, 1970, the next month.
Yeah.
Okay? This is crazy, Jimmy.
Unreal.
You're not going to believe this.
I'm already stunned.
Okay. My kind of guy. November 18th, 1970.
Yeah.
He is leading the team in receiving yards at this point. All right. Let's go back a little bit. November 15th, 3 days earlier, Dallas loses to the St. Louis Cardinals 38-0.
Okay.
It gets a shit. I mean, that's
Just
a shit
stomping.
hammering. Yeah. 3 days later, after that, on November 18th, Rentzel went to the movies and he saw 2001: A Space Odyssey. Okay. It plunged him into a deep depression.
Oh, my God. He's got to stay away from places with years in the title.
He's got to stay away from things with like these big sweeping overview society things because apparently
it
really
overwhelms him.
It overwhelms him. He can't handle it. So it's true.
Yeah.
He's very depressed.
Yeah.
And he chooses an odd way to get that depression out.
To relieve it.
So he's very depressed. The following afternoon, after that, he's going to football practice, and he's just driving around aimlessly before football practice. Yeah. Depressed, 2001: A Space Odyssey on his mind. Kubrick is in his brain.
Really got him.
Really in there. And according to the, quote, offense report by the police,
oh boy,
this was filed at 4 p.m. on November 19th, alleging that Rentzel drove in his car up to a 10-year-old girl, talked to the girl, and then exposed himself to her. This is now...
Are we blaming Kubrick?
I blame...
Kubrick and Orwell are
Kubrick
really...
and Orwell. They'll make you take your dick out.
They're ruining children.
He drove away, but a warrant was issued for his arrest after someone got his license plate number and traced it back to him. And they went and grabbed him from the parking lot of Cowboys practice there.
How embarrassing.
Yeah, you think so? So embarrassing. The fans nickname him No Pants Lance.
So we're gonna make this funny. Jesus.
Back then this was like this wasn't considered. Oh wow, this is predatory. Has he fucked any children?
Right.
We really got to make sure everything's okay. Are all the kids okay?
This is
They're
fine.
like Lance got no pants. That rhymes. Kate and Ain't rhyme too. And
God damn it,
they'd say things like they'd bring signs saying, "Don't worry, even if we're down late, I'm sure Lance will pull it out."
Oh, no.
So, yeah, that's what they're getting at. He's a big star.
Yeah.
He's on Merv Griffin, for Christ's sake. He's married to a movie star. What the fuck is he doing?
This is
the depression.
Yeah.
This is
his thing.
This is his thing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's no rhyme or reason to it other than he needs to do this and it gets him, he's into it.
That just goes to show that somebody that is into children,
that's what they're into.
Right. He's got, by all intents and purposes, the hottest thing possible.
Well, yeah, you can't
He's
get
got what a man should be.
He should be horny for that every day.
Wake up, rock hard, go to bed.
Yeah. Woo-hoo.
Still rock hard.
Showing dudes pictures of your wife at work. You're like, you see my wife? Check this out. Yeah. I'm gonna
look how exhausted I am.
I'm gonna wait till you see. Man, I gotta get this practice over with. You know what? I quit football. Going home. Yeah, this is different.
Showing it to kids.
It's so strange. He said that now, obviously, this was, he says about it, quote, "I sensed a weary feeling of loneliness. I was drawn by the sight of a young girl."
Oh, God, Jesus, no.
Why would you say those words in a sentence?
Never put those together. You don't have a PR guy?
Book.
Oh, my God,
This went to an editor and then back to him, and everyone approved it and went out like that. "I was drawn by the sight of a young girl.
Mm-hmm.
I called her to the car as though to ask her a question." That's what he says. So The Cowboys have a statement. By the way, the charge here carries a maximum punishment of 15 years in prison.
Good.
This is not a small thing, and they're taking it serious in Texas, apparently. And in Minnesota, it's so cold, any body part you take out, they're like, it probably froze off anyway. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So the Cowboys release a statement, very silver. Tex Schramm releases this. Quote, by the way, it's not creative to call yourself Tex if you're from Texas. We get it.
It's done.
Half of the state.
And you know what? If you are calling yourself Tex, look back to the 60s and see that it has a negative connotation.
All assholes.
It's bad.
All assholes.
It's not good at all.
If you live in like northern Manitoba, then yeah, maybe Tex, but not if you're in Dallas.
Right.
So they say, quote, Lance Rentzel has requested that he be placed on the inactive list so that he may devote his time to settling his personal affairs. He will work out with the team as time permits. The club will have no further comment.
Mm-hmm.
That is not enough.
No.
Including, well, you'd think, yeah, this is bad, but no, because that week they have a short week to figure out what to do because it's Thanksgiving that week.
Right.
And they have a Thanksgiving Day game against the Packers coming up.
Oh, boy.
And it's a big game.
Yeah.
They got to win that game. So, he left the Cowboys the night before their Thanksgiving Day with Green Bay. He took off on his own. He said, quote, I attended the team meeting. I told the players I wanted them to hear the story personally from me before things blew out of proportion. I told them I was terribly sorry if I caused any embarrassment, and I hope they would understand. And he said they were great. Everyone shook my hand and wished me good luck. And so, yeah, he figured he wasn't going to be playing the Green Bay game,
right.
you know, because this is pretty embarrassing and awful, and we should probably get this guy off the street.
I'm sorry if I caused embarrassment. How does showing your dick not cause embarrassment?
It's a lot of embarrassment.
Why would you leave if?
For everyone,
I'm sorry I caused embarrassment.
How about replace if with that?
Right.
Let's do that. Then he says, quote, I got a call from Craig Morton, who was the quarterback. Mm-hmm. He said, we'll see you in the morning at 9:30.
Yeesh.
Yeah. That was normal practice hour for the Cowboys, and Morton was implying that the team expected him to be there. He tells him, Morton, that the players voted unanimously to ask him to return.
They need him.
Not one guy is like, does no one have a daughter? No. He's taking his dick out in front of kids. What the fuck are we doing?
Not one guy.
Not one person.
Unbelievable.
He says, quote, this is the silverest organization ever, down to the players.
Whole damn
They're
team.
Fucking helmets. That's why they're that color, everybody. Right. Jesus.
They just condone it.
They condone anything. Quote, I told Morton I was very moved by that. It was the greatest moment my greatest moment in sports. Not the greatest moment in sports. The greatest moments in sports history. We have come to number one. Number one. When Craig Morton phoned an indecently exposed Lance Rentzel and told him, regardless of him showing his penis to children, he'd like him to be at practice, and the whole team has unanimously decided that a sexual assault on a child is less important than the Thanksgiving Day game at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers.
And then number 2, the pass from Joe Montana. Number 1, the catch.
Number 2, the shot heard round the world, Robbie Thompson, 1955.
Number 3, the immaculate catch.
The immaculate reception, Franco Harris, 1972.
Number 1, 1969 Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. A sleepy Lance Rentzel reacts to the phone ringing. On the other end,
a sleepy Lance Rentzel shuts off the TV.
A sleepy, pantsless Lance Rentzel
shuts off Captain Kangaroo.
Shuts off Captain Kangaroo. Shuts off Romper Room and is awoken by the phone. On the other end, Cowboy quarterback Craig Morton. And he's got the message. Put your pants on and be at practice.
Craig Morton interrupts Lance Rentzel's masturbation to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Lance Rentzel was having a masturbatory. He was having a masturbatory carnival in the morning. Interrupted by Craig Morton's
He almost found out what today's letter is.
Lance Rentzel, engorged by the
counts counting.
Engorged by the mention of V being the letter of the day. He quickly begins stroking until he's interrupted by a phone call from starting quarterback Craig Morton.
The letter of the day is taut. T as in taut.
T as in taut. Tight.
Oh, my God.
Titillating.
Also, a taut, like a toddler.
Toddler. So...
Fucking.
This has been the greatest moments in sports history.
That's the whole team unanimously. They forgive him together because he's our best receiver.
It's fine.
That's how
deep
good
threat.
How good do you have to be?
Morton's like, I need somebody deep.
Yeah, none of you fuckers can run.
Damn it. But I explained, he says, that if I practiced with the team and played in games, I would be exposing the others to the brunt of the publicity. Don't say exposing.
Don't say brunt.
Brunt and exposing in the same word?
Good God.
Jesus Christ. He went on. He went to practice the next morning, thanked all the players. He says, quote, it was a very emotional meeting, but I told them I couldn't accept the idea of coming back. But then Rentzel talked with the team president, Tex Schramm, the silverest of the silver, and Coach Tom Landry, also quite silver,
Very.
and asked to be placed on the move list, putting him, on the list, basically out of everything. But they said, no, you're going to play in this Thanksgiving Day game against Green Bay, though, first. Yeah.
A day that's about family.
Yeah, they know.
Wow.
Yeah, they knew what he did. Now, he is later on going to go to therapy for this, and we'll talk about it. That's part of the whole deal is therapy. So he goes to therapy kind of right away here because that was what he had to do last time. In therapy, he's told to write down all his thoughts. So he decides to write a book.
Oh, boy.
That's what he's going to do. Now, he says that his attempt to analyze his sexual problems were painful to him, and he says that he blames his whole life on a, quote, over-loving, smothering mother.
No.
And he had an intense desire to be able to prove his masculinity to the world, that he wasn't a pussy. That's what this is about.
What?
Then show it to a grown woman who can punch you in the jaw.
You've done it.
Dumb fuck. Well, don't show your dick to anybody. That's not what I'm saying.
Everybody in Oklahoma.
If the choices are fifth grader or adult, please, by all means, but still.
But everybody in Oklahoma, men included, are very impressed with you, sir.
Doesn't matter.
All think you're very manly, especially with the wool that you've pulled.
Yep. He's pulled a lot of wool.
He's pulled great
good
wool.
wool.
Yeah.
When he failed to live up to expectations, or when he would drop a pass, or something bad would happen in his business, the nightclub and everything, he said the only way he could reassure himself that he wasn't a loser and to exhibit his masculinity was to expose himself. Or you could have sex with your ultra-hot movie star wife.
Right.
That would be a way to assert masculinity and success. Look what I've done. This broad wants to fucking bang me. This is great.
I'm going to show you that I'm not a loser by doing the most losery thing on earth.
The loserest thing possible.
What?
Showing your dick to a kid.
Oh, boy.
He says that his... Jesus Christ, man. It's interesting, man. He says that... one of the doctors said that one feeling that Rentzel had is that he tried to examine his hang-ups to show everything here. Now, why would he do this is obviously the question. He describes it like this, quote, as I left the field for home after practice on Thursday, I sensed a weary feeling of loneliness, hopelessness, nothing to look forward to. 2001.
Right.
I drove around aimlessly. After a while, I found myself pulling over to the curb in front of a big house with a spacious lawn. I was only a few blocks from my apartment, but I didn't realize it. In fact, I didn't seem to know or care where I was or what I was doing. This is creepy. But I was drawn by the sight of a young girl, again.
Oh, boy.
Drawn by the sight of a young girl playing in the front yard. All reason, all judgment, all foresight were momentarily suspended in my mind. It suddenly seemed as though the girl had some vital suddenly seemed that through that girl some vital reassurance would come to me. That is not your reassurance person. That's a fucking human being that has nothing to do with you. Adults, stop using kids to make yourself feel anything. Stop it. Don't have kids to make yourself happier.
No.
Because that's not right.
Never.
Don't have kids Don't ever do that.
Right.
If you raise a kid, you're doing it for them and has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's a horrible
It's supposed to be a selfless thing, and that's not selfish.
No, this is through that girl, some vital reassurance would come to me.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
That's predatory behavior.
The most. He said, quote, I called her to the car as though to ask a question, exposed myself, and drove away. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's such a weird attack.
It's such a strange thing to do. It's like, what are you getting out of this other than, now she knows I have a dick now?
Is it the shock and awe of the, it's not about making you feel good?
That's what I mean.
Is that what it is?
It's not about me feeling good. It's about you feeling bad, I guess.
It's got to be.
Like, I can scare you with my penis, but you're just scared because there's some grown-up showing you something he shouldn't be showing you.
Right.
So it's disgusting.
And because a dick is hideous to a child.
It should be. This is creepy.
It's horrifying to see.
This is twice, though, now, and many more times.
Right.
Who knows how many more times. He said, my two greatest worries over the current publicity are any humiliation I might cause the team and any I might bring to an organization for which I have worked very hard. It's called, so he started an organization. It's called Student Alternatives to Violence, known as SAVE. I'm one of the founders of the program, and I've spent a lot of time on its behalf. I wear 3 pairs of pants in every meeting, just in case I get the urge. He hasn't said.
And underwear without the little slit.
Without the no little slit. I got to pull them all the way down. That's what happens. Among others whom Rentzel has worked with in this are Gail Sayers, Craig Morton, astronaut Jim McDivitt, and O.J. Simpson.
What?
So at one point, Dick Exposer and O.J. were hanging out somewhere together.
Dick Exposer and maybe
what makes you feel masculine? Well, I like to cut a woman. I like to cut her deep in the throat till her head almost comes off. I like to show my dick to children. I think it's...
Well, I'll tell you what, if she was 12, I'd fuck that hole.
Yeah. Fuck the hole that it caused in the thing here. So, yeah, he's hanging out with OJ. That's his big thing. Let's save the kids and the ladies here. He was asked, quote, how do you see your future? And he says, I must face this case like a man and do the best I can. They asked him if he was ever going to play football again, and he said, I hope so, but things are so... What is this? Entangled now. It's hard for me to think about football. Sorry, it's an old newspaper article. It's hard to see. So May 9th, 1971, the Cowboys go, maybe not here if you're going to play football. Taking your dick out in front of a kid will get you shipped to another city anyway. Not out of the league somehow, but at least shipped to another city. So May 9th, 1971, he is traded to the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
Traded to the Rams. He's like shit. He gets out there.
What year is this?
71.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, 71. He's going to L.A., which, he's still married to Joey Heatherton. So
yeah, but L.A. is reeling right now from so
from
much
everything.
violence.
There's so much going on out there. And he doesn't know. He's in L.A. He gets settled in a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's kind of... He's trying to figure out, what do I do here? In a new city, does everybody know I take my dick out in this city? Because you have to figure out, everybody you see, do they know I take my dick out in front of kids? That's got to be your first thought.
He's in a good town for it.
Be my first thought.
They love it there.
They love dicks. Yeah, it'll be fine there. So, I mean, at one point, he's just sitting there trying to figure out what to do with himself, and there's a knock at the door. It's like, who is this? He opens the door, and it's the Mexican pimp.
Yes.
Standing there, guns blazing.
Here he goes.
And he says... How is it you've come to arrive here? Why are you here? Why? I say, I hear all about you.
Yeah.
I hear Star, your wife?
Yeah.
You do not know the price she would bring in on the open market. I could sell her for many, many times what she makes.
So many pesos.
So many I could sell her for. You have that. You play with Star on your helmet, running beautifully down the field with blonde hair flowing while the wife waits for you. And with all of this, you show your dick to a child. Why? Why do you do that? I do not understand, and I will have none of it.
I want no part of you, sir.
Even for me,
you
have crossed a line. Poof. And in a puff of tequila and guns and everything, he is gone. And Lance is very confused.
Yeah.
And his dick's out and he doesn't know what to do. So he is traded for Lance Allworth, who is an all-time great receiver.
Lance for Lance?
Lance for Lance.
Got traded Lance for Lance.
I'm sorry. They obtained, because it was a 3-team deal. What is this? Yeah, okay, that's how it worked there.
Mm-hmm.
So, He says that we know we're giving, this is Tom Landry, we know we're giving up one of the top flankers in the league, but I thought he'd be better off in another city where he had the same opportunity regularly. We found this in Los Angeles, and it was one of the teams Lance wanted to be traded to if he were traded. So they trade him there. So to LA. So he's going, Cowboys, by the way, when he left the team, he was the franchise leader in most receptions in a game in that 13, which was broken by Jason Witten in 2007.
Wow.
Most consecutive 100-yard receiving games, which was a record until Michael Irvin passed it in 95. Still the fourth most receiving touchdowns in a season, fourth most career postseason receiving yards, and fourth most receiving yards in a game.
That's a tough stat to break too, because postseason yardage, your team has to be good to make it. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
If you play on a shit team, you're never going to beat that.
Never going to have any postseason yardage. So he goes to court for his exposure.
Yep.
And he pleads guilty. He has no other choice. He pleads guilty, and the judge says, "You, sir, may fuck off. 3 years suspended sentence. So 3 years suspended, 5 years probation. In addition to that." And also, he has to do psychiatric treatment and pay a fine and do all that.
For second-time offense.
For a second-time offense.
Of the same fucking thing.
He needed to go in there. Yeah. I think he needed to be in jail from that shit. I'm sorry. But especially after that, no. It's been a few.
That's nuts.
So one of the psychiatrists says about this, quote, "From what I read, Rentzel's problem is a general disturbance with the sexual disturbance being a sort of subheading." He says, "It seems his problem should be handled as a sickness and not a crime." Okay. I don't know about that. There's kids involved. I don't really care at that point.
Sickness and crime go hand in hand when it's like that.
Well, a sickness is fine if it's on you, but once you involve a kid, then it's a crime.
When it's detrimental to society.
Yeah, your illness doesn't matter anymore. Just because someone is a so-called manly activity does not mean that he's not capable of deviating from the sexual norm. This is Dr. Bruce Ogilvie of San Jose State. He says, quote, "I have known several athletes to be that way, and some of the highest judges of the land were exhibitionists." So,
okay, I hate this guy.
So is one of the great knighted actors of England, another guy said. He's talking about that. They're having a discussion about how important people like to take their dicks out, and that's not that bad of a deal. And it's a sickness where they have something that they need, and we should be kid gloves with it.
Right, but there's a difference between exhibitionism and fucking pedophilia.
Showing the shit
Huge
to
difference.
Small girls here. They said in a case history, this one psychiatrist talks about an exhibitionist named Lenny. Sorry, Lenny Dykstra. He discussed his problem, and he said, "All I ever knew was that when I feel alone, I began to feel mad and I wanted to feel good. I was always body-oriented." I don't know what the fuck that means. "I seemed to have to do something physical. What happened was, in my mind, just took off from my body. During my exhibitionist rituals, I was in some kind of haze. My impulses seemed to come from something besides my conscious mind. I tried to fight it. My profession and my job were at stake. When the impulses hit me, I would try to deny it, but it was impossible." So that was another dick taker outer guy. So I don't know if that's what Lance is going through or what his problem is or what the fuck his deal is or what.
I hate that they call it that.
It's ridiculous.
Exhibitionist.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
An exhibition is like,
sounds like a willing participant.
That sounds like a woman at the beach with her tits out.
Right.
She's an exhibitionist. And everyone's like, "I salute you." That's an exhibitionist. A guy with his dick out in front of a 10-year-old girl is a goddamn criminal.
That's a bad man.
That's a bad man. Bad man.
I'll let a lady with her tits out at the beach around my children.
Shit, yeah.
I will not let a man with his dick out around children, around my children.
Nope, no. Keep your dick away around my kids. So the Vikings GM that knew him from back then, Jim Finks, he says Lance in particular seems like a Sir Galahad type of guy, blonde and handsome and all that type of shit. And so he said that, Joey Heatherton and everything like that. He said this, but according to Finks, he had some psychiatric treatment at the University of Minnesota Medical Center back then. So they said, he wasn't what we thought he was. And they didn't know whether basically what the deal was with him. They didn't back then too. They didn't really have a good grip on this type of shit.
It's hard to diagnose this.
Yeah, several psychologists at the time agreed that the problems of Rentzel's nature began in childhood and can be a seeking for love from parents that was denied to them as youngsters. He said his mother was overly smothering, to an effort to prove their masculinity. Sometimes a football player might enter a contact sport as a defense for his fears of himself. Jesus Christ. Another guy, Dr. James Nicholas, a physician for the New York Jets, he said, quote, "You can make a case for anything after the fact. You can say that anything we do is defensive." But he says that football is a manly endeavor, like considered in society, quote unquote, manly endeavor. And if he's doing that, why does he need to take his dick out, basically? Yeah. Is what he's talking about.
By society's views also, you're a success, but he doesn't feel like a success because he feels like his childhood was maybe robbed from him and forced to do school and stuff.
I mean, Jesus
He didn't
Christ.
get to be a kid.
Get over it.
You're right. You're not wrong. But it's hard for...
Put your dick away.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
You can say everything you want. At the end, you go, put your dick away. Well, that's great. You should work on all that. While you're doing it, have your dick in your pants.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a behavior that you cannot do. You cannot unzip your pants and take your cock out.
When you do your whole day with your dick away, let's do every day like that.
Well, every day. You know what, too? Let's make this a thing, especially if there's kids around.
Right.
What do you say about that?
One little part of your day where your dick comes out. Don't do that one.
Don't do that one. Fink said that perhaps the pressures of the game weighed heavily on him, too, and made him do it. So,
okay.
Joey Heatherton, on the other hand, says, "I don't really care what made him do it. I want a divorce."
Good for her.
I am not being with fucking Johnny Diddler here. I can't go on Merv Griffin and talk about his dick being out. That's not what I want to do with my life. I am a TV star.
Right.
And all of this is overshadowing her. Mm-hmm. Now they always say it was always Lance Rentzel, and I've seen the articles. It was Lance Rentzel, Joey Heatherton's husband, or Joey Heatherton's husband, Lance Rentzel. Mm-hmm. Now it was, exposing Dallas Cowboy Lance Rentzel's wife, Joey Heatherton.
Right.
Now it became that. She didn't like that. I don't know if that was, didn't like being associated with that or just didn't want to get second billing, but either way, she files for a divorce on September 18th, 1971. She sues him for irreconcilable differences. They're both 27 years old. Wow. They have no kids, so
what are you going to do? Yeah. On top of the world at 27?
Yeah.
To sink your own ship by throwing your dick at a
10-year-old. He could just be... He says at this point, later on he'll write in his book, he tries to say something negative about Joey Heatherton to make it so he's not just a total loser.
Yeah.
And he says that one time she neglected to tell him that she was going to be in New York for the weekend. And he was mad at that.
Oh, boy.
By her selfishness. And he compared the experience to, quote, being hit by a linebacker from the blind side.
Oh, boy.
He's a whiner.
Yeah.
He's a whiny little fucker, this guy. So 1971, he's with the Rams. Team goes 8-5-1 under Tommy Prothro, which is a great name for a coach. Prothro.
Better for a quarterback.
That's even better. Roman Gabriel is the quarterback, who's kind of a legendary weird guy and a good quarterback. He said about the trade that he liked it. He said that Lance is recognized as a quality receiver, and from the films I have seen, he's a heck of a blocker at the position, too.
Yeah.
So are people making fun of him?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's asked. Do people around the league make fun of you? Because this is his first time coming back now since the Thanksgiving game. And he said, no, not really. He said only the Redskins gave him shit about it.
What?
The Redskins fucked with him when they played the Redskins.
Oh, that's a rival team of the Cowboys.
This is the Rams, though. Yeah, so they picked on him a little bit. He said, quote, the rest of the teams in the league treated me as if nothing had happened. But the fans in Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and other places back east really let me have it.
The places that cherish the children.
Places where like, keep your dick away from my kid, you fucking bum. You fucking jag off. In Pittsburgh, anyway.
Was Lawrence Phillips on this team?
He should have been.
How about that?
No, but he could have and should have been.
Yeah.
No, that was shitty. I don't think he
Too
was
early?
born yet.
In the 70s?
Lawrence Phillips played in the 90s.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is this in the 70s?
Yeah. This is 1972. Right. I don't think Lawrence Phillips might have been born right about now.
I think. He was writing letters from camp in the late 80s?
Late 80s, yeah.
Okay.
So, or the 90s.
Was it really?
Mid-90s, late 90s,
My God.
So he said that on the field that year, 14 games, 38 receptions, 534 yards, 14.1 per catch, and 5 touchdowns. Not wonderful, not awful. On the gossip column, I found a gossip column from the day saying that Lance Rentzel and Joey Heatherton are dating again, even though they're divorced. But that doesn't work out, as we'll find out here. 1972, team goes 6-7-1, but that doesn't matter because November of 1972, his book comes out. This is what he's been writing since his first diddle experience.
Oh, boy.
It's called, he's really bad at titling things. We'll put it that way. It's called When All the Laughter Died in Sorrow.
He's an artist, James.
He's awful at naming things. He's the worst.
He sculpts shit. He writes songs. That's his
it's
attempt
just too
at being
many
deep.
words.
Yeah.
How about When the Laughter Died in Sorrow? Why When All the Laughter Died? It's just too many words. It's too wordy.
How about when an NFL player touches a kid?
How about It's Not Funny to Take Your Dick Out in Front of Kids?
When it all comes out.
That's sorrow. Taking your dick out in front of kids causes sorrow. How about that one? The book was $6.95 when it came out.
Okay.
Saw an ad for it. He says, initially, I didn't write the book for publication. Not at all. He said that wasn't the deal.
Yeah.
He said, my friend said it would be a catharsis for me to put it all down, so I talked into a tape recorder for weeks during the spring of 1971. I taped my whole life. I got to know myself and all the people I'd come in contact with a lot better than I'd ever had before. I found some humor in my life and discovered elements of my background and personality I hadn't seen very clearly. I enjoyed writing it. Then I gave the book to my analyst, and that's his therapist there, and he suggested I go ahead and publish it. I tried to be as objective as possible and hoped I wouldn't be criticized for my viewpoint. He said, writing the book allows me to see the weaknesses in myself and accept defeat and bounce back. It changed the whole pattern of my life. Now I've started on another book about the Rams. It's a different kind of football book about the psychological and emotional components of a team. Eventually, I want to become a full-time writer. Oh boy. He said, the real test is how a man reacts to negative situations. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say I had fears about the book's receptions. And you want to hear something that he says about it?
I don't know.
This is pretty amazing. We got to do it in their own words here. This is him at the end of his book. He describes appearing before a group of medical students to tell something of his case history, basically. And this is him. This is fucking hilarious. This is the best in their own words ever. We need to do this. In their own words, quote, for the first time in my life, I said it out loud. Ladies and gentlemen, by medical definition, I am a sex pervert. For a 28-year-old golden boy whose whole life had been dedicated to living up to his image, that was one hell of an achievement. That's his achievement. I told people I'm a sex pervert. Mission accomplished.
Ah, gross.
That's the funniest
I
fucking...
said it out loud to kids.
I'm a sex pervert.
Yeah. Hi,
10
guys.
years ago, I'd have showed you my cock.
Hey, guys, I know you're going through school. You're in danger right now.
A lot.
You're in front of a very, very gross man.
If you have a little sister, she's in danger.
Yeah, you guys might be too old for me.
You guys are fine. What are you, 25? You're medical students? Yeah. So I found a review, and this one lady said, there's another group, this is the reviewer, which should read the Rentzel story. Let's call them fathers and smothering mothers. For the villains of Lance's book are his rich, loving parents. This is perhaps a classic tale of that not uncommon phenomenon, the all-American boy whose road is so strewn with roses he has no chance to grow up. That's basically how he puts it. He's just, life was too easy for him. There's an article talking about Joey Heatherton reading it before it comes out.
What'd she say?
They gave her the galleys, apparently, to read beforehand. And this article says, quote, Joey Heatherton is holed up at a friend's house in Palm Springs reading every word of the galleys of Lance Rentzel's book, which is going to be published in November. Others who have read it told Joey that she has nothing to worry about and that her about-to-be ex says not a bad word about her, though he talks quite frankly about his problem.
Yeah.
But she wants to see for herself. But Joey isn't reading all the time, as she has been seen seeing Frank Sinatra here and there. So Joey's got other shit going on.
She's reading it like Miss Farmer and Funny Farm, crying in a chair.
Yeah.
I wish he'd burn it.
Burn it. It's terrible. He's also seeing people. In 1972, he is hooked up with June Wilkinson, some lady. And then 1973, and for a while, he's hooked up with Victoria Principal.
Who's that?
She was in a ton of TV shows and movies. She sold like skincare shit all through the 90s and 2000s. She's like Jane Seymour. She was like one of those ladies who was like 70, but everyone was like, oh my, every 70-year-old guy who loved her was like, she still looks 50.
She's still hot as
Holy shit.
Right.
Yeah. That's Victoria Principal. She always looked, she's a very pretty woman though, and somehow still wants to go out with him after he took his dick out in front of kids. I don't understand
I'd still love to see Jane Seymour naked. I'm in.
That's all right.
No?
You I don't. No offense, older ladies. I don't. Maybe when I'm older, I will, because my age now. When I was 17, I didn't want to see a 40.
Sure.
Whatever. But I have no desire to see any human being over the age of 70 naked. I don't. Sorry, none of them.
In Wedding Crashers, she was hot as shit, and Owen Wilson got
that was
to see
20 years ago.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
20 years.
Oh my God, she was 50 then. Of course, she was hot.
She is
not that
aging rapidly. Doing great. I'm not insulting or anybody. People are aged. We're all going to age and we're all going to look like shit. Trust me. It's fine. And I don't expect anyone to want to look at me when I'm 73 years old with my dick out.
She was probably 55 in that movie.
Yeah.
That makes sense why you'd be sexy there.
Absolutely.
75, it's tougher.
It's a little more difficult.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Holy shit.
So it doesn't seem like it, but I saw a look in your face like I saw it last week. She's
she's great. No, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Calm down.
A little bit different.
She's selling necklaces now.
Yeah, and all sorts of shit. So that year he did play football in addition to being very busy, and he had 14 games started, 27 receptions, 13.5 receptions, yards per reception, only one touchdown.
Okay.
So he was a little busy with other shit. January 12th, 1973, he is arrested again.
Uh-oh.
This time his dick is in his pants firmly. This is an arrest that's kind of obviously I think it's bullshit, but the cops bust in his house, they raid his house and find a half pound of weed in his house.
They were kicking down doors for a half pound?
Somebody back then, if somebody got busted with drugs, they'd tell the cops, I know somebody who's got more drugs, and then they would let them go and fucking go get this guy's shit and go up the
This guy's couple ounces ain't nothing compared to this.
He's got more,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, a couple ounces. I guess it's 8 ounces, right?
It's 8 ounces, a half pound.
It's not that much.
It's not that much. No, and so it's his Hollywood home. Cops came in, busted the door down. He had a half pound of weed.
Okay.
Big deal. In 1973, it was a big deal, but, obviously, I don't give a shit about that.
That looks like intent to distribute, though.
That looks bad, exactly. It looks like a lot, when probably it was just to get a stash to not have to go out and get it all the time. So he's taken into custody here, and they had a search warrant and found it, and they said also narcotics paraphernalia.
Mm-hmm.
He was released after 4 hours from the police station with $5,000 bail.
Okay.
So not terrible.
But that's also bad for weed smokers because now it looks like pedophiles like weed.
Exactly. You're like, oh, not him.
Not all weed smokers are pedophiles.
Come on.
Some pedophiles.
Put your dick away.
Are weed smokers.
Clearly. One anyway, for sure. May 1973, he goes to court for the weed and pleads guilty. He wants to get it over with as quickly as possible. Pleads guilty to marijuana possession is what they give him. They knock it down. And he gets a $2,000 fine and a suspended sentence from that as well. Okay. So he's been suspended sentences a lot here. And,
well, if he's not serving time for showing his dick to kids, he better not spend time for weed.
That's the thing. And he was mad about this, by the way. He thought it was too stern.
Uh-huh.
His lawyer said basically Lance felt the sentence in terms of time and fine excessive and that he was used as an example. But he recognizes that he does hold a position as a pro football player that is in the public eye. He's not bitter. He accepts the responsibility. He's on probation.
Yeah,
you can't get busted with anything when you're on probation. This was his first involving drugs, but obviously not. His lawyer said this is not a first offense type of case. He's already on probation in Texas, and it's very rare to get a straight walk when it's the second offense of any kind. We feel this was definitely a factor. So he's fucking lucky he's not in jail, and he's bitching about it. He does not play that year, though, because he is suspended for the 1973 season for this arrest.
Okay.
That and it was my cumulative embarrassment, we'll call it.
He got suspended for weed. Not for the other one.
No, that's what I mean. He played the next fucking game.
Wow.
This was conduct detrimental to the league and blah, blah, blah.
I don't know, take a vote in your clubhouse because Dallas overlooked showing your dick to a kid.
Didn't mind at all. They're like, listen, it's okay. It was none of our daughters, so it's fine. It's good. Jesus Christ. But the team that year got Chuck Knox as a coach, who was a great coach forever here. And they go 12-2 that year and lose to Dallas in the playoffs.
Sheesh.
So he didn't get to do it, though, because, he got to sit out the season. And I don't feel bad for him. I really don't. I don't feel bad for him. And I don't feel bad for any of these people as well. There's no other Lance Rentzels in the world, by the way.
You don't feel bad for any
of
Lance Rentzel in the world?
No, because they're him.
Right.
It's all him.
Right.
One is Lance Rentzel, CEO at Rentzel Productions in Fairfax, Virginia. That's where he is, and that's where he's currently located. So that's why it's him. Who knows? And then Lance Rentzel, owner at US2 and Information Technology and Services Consultant.
So he's a consultant
in Fairfax, Virginia. He's got some business. something going on.
Boy, oh boy.
Who knows? May of 1974, May 18th, 1974. I believe this is when he is reinstated into the league, and he's very happy. He said, "I'm just as happy as I could be. Okay, I'm anxious to rejoin the Rams. They are still my football team, and Chuck Knox is my coach. He's the greatest coach in my opinion, even though I played for him less than 2 weeks."
2 weeks in
2 weeks.
favor.
My biggest interest now is winning. Is writing. That's a newspaper thing. It's hard to see. But I owe the Rams and fans a lot. I haven't done much for them in the 3 seasons out here, but I'll make up for that this season. Sure you will. So 74 with the Rams, they're 10-4. They beat the Redskins in the divisional round of the playoffs and then lose to the Vikings that year in the conference championship game, so almost the Super Bowl.
But the past 2 years, they've lost to both teams that he played for.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sign, guys. Yeah. But he 14 games, doesn't have any starts, only 18 receptions, but 396 yards for 22 yards per reception, only 1 touchdown. At the end of the season, they put him on waivers.
Okay.
They shit-can him,
right.
And he's very surprised at it.
Really?
Yes. He says, quote, "I was surprised." Literally. Quote, "I was surprised. Well, not surprised. I expected they would have to let somebody go. When you have as many qualified receivers as we have, and when you consider that I'm almost 32, well, it has to be a factor." No team claimed him off waivers either. He said that he went in and he talked to players in the locker room to say goodbye. He said he tried to laugh about it. He said, quote, "I guess it was black humor and a little dark humor." He said he wasn't sure what he was going to do. He said, "I'll just steal out of here. I haven't packed yet, and the thought of that depresses me." Oh, God, don't say
depressed.
that. Don't be depressed. Somebody get him an ice cream and a party hat and get a fucking something. Get him.
Glue a fucking horn on the front of a horse.
I don't give a shit what you play. Pin the cock on the farv in the line. I don't care what you guys do. Cheer him up.
Cheer up, bitch.
He's cheer up, bitch. "I would hate to end my career on a negative note. I want to show that I am still what I'm still capable of doing. That I'll have to evaluate all of this. Fortunately, I have my book to work on, and I'm confident that will open up a lot of other horizons for me and a future I can depend on, but I would like to see my football career end on a positive note. I was saddened by the fact that I would no longer have the opportunity to be on a great team, but I feel I have achieved my share of individual goals in my career. My first thought was, damn, I'm going to miss this. I'm not sure this has all sunk in yet, but when something like this happens, it doesn't do you any good to bemoan your fate. I haven't faced the prospects of moving to another city. Maybe I wouldn't enjoy living in another city, but I can't dwell on the past. A lot of athletes never accept the end. They never will. They spend their lives playing a game and have no qualifications for anything else. They're desperate and they have to find a way to make a living. I feel grateful I have a career in writing. I'm a believer in never looking back and never looking at things negatively. Okay. Now, 1975 here, January of 1975 at the Super Bowl, he and Fred Dreyer, you know who he is, Hunter? No. Remember the show Hunter?
Yeah.
That's Fred Dreyer.
No. Do I?
It's like an 80s action show.
Okay.
I just remember the commercials for it. Hunter, and it's like kind of had like this 46-year-old looking guy.
I probably do.
Fred Dreyer played for the Rams. That's okay. Hunter. He was an NFL player for years.
Doesn't matter, but I'm going to Google it when we talk.
You should Google it up. So apparently, he and Fred Dreyer got hired from Sport Magazine to do a silly thing where they would go to the Super Bowl and pretend they were like yokel beat writer dorks and have like dumb hats on and ask stupid questions and just be like, you know, dorks basically in comedy. So they do that. They show up. They call themselves Cubby O'Switzer and Scoops Brannigan. Oh boy. Idiots. And Rentzel told everyone, we're here to ask the dumbest questions we can and to mooch. Don't moon.
No.
And to mooch as much free food and beer as we possibly can.
Okay.
So he says that, and he says that they were doing all sorts of interviews, and people are mad at him. Jim Kensel, the executive director of the NFL, issued a statement saying, quote, they were there apparently on assignment to create news rather than report news. And if that's the case, and I haven't talked to Shap, who gave the credentials, we think that's just wrong. And Rentzel says, I don't think Pete Rozelle should be concerned about this. He's got better things to do, and we're not hurting anybody. Yeah, I would say so. Leave him alone. 1975, he's living in Beverly Hills. And he's doing fine.
I'm blown away with how rich he is.
He's doing great. He shares his apartment. He's got an actress girlfriend again. Yeah, he's doing wonderful. He has a backgammon club.
Okay.
The fuck? That's a weird thing to do.
A smart guy game.
I guess. He has friends in the entertainment industry. He goes to parties at the Playboy Mansion, invited by Hugh Hefner.
He's doing great.
Well, I guess if you're going to take your dick out, that's the appropriate place to have it out.
Listen, if you're going to go be a pervert somewhere, there you go.
Hefner was like, did he say he was a sex pervert in that book? Send him an invite.
My kind of guy.
My kind of guy. Exactly.
That's the only guy that can get away with saying it.
It's my kind of guy. Says he's writing a novel about football now, a positive book in which much of the action takes place off the field, frequently in Beverly Hills. He's negotiating a package deal to write the screenplay and executive produce the movie version. Wow. None of that ever happened, by the way. November 18th, 1976, warrant issued for his arrest. It's a bench warrant issued for the arrest of him after he failed to appear in court for a probation report stemming from his weed thing. So he just didn't go to court. They issued an appearance, whatever the hell. And he's supposed to pay 100 hours of community service and $2,000 fine. And he didn't do that. Yeah, last May, he told the court he was unable to pay a $2,000 fine. Okay. So he said he didn't have $2,000, though. Yeah.
Don't say that out loud. Huff will stop letting you come to the house.
Yeah, Victoria Principal won't bang you. So, he was ordered to perform 100 hours of community service in its place because he couldn't afford the fine. He unsuccessfully appealed the marijuana case on grounds of illegal search and seizure.
Yeah.
So, September 26, 1989, what's he up to? Now, at that point, he was running Interactive Images, a computer company in Washington. He had a wife of 3 years named Karen, so he was married then, and they are expecting a child.
Okay.
He says, the future looks very exciting now. Everything has been going very well in my life lately, and I'm very happy.
I hope it's a boy.
Yeah, let's hope so. Now, I found some arrests that I don't know. I don't have details. I just found the reports here. 1995, he's arrested for driving on a suspended license. That's December 28th, 95. And also, it's apparently a revoked license here.
Oh, that's not good.
So not good. And it said he has court fines of $50,000. I don't know how the fuck that happened. I don't know how many times he got busted for that.
Interest compounding?
I don't know what it is. I don't know if that can't be right, though.
That's a lot of money.
Is a lot of court fines. March 1st, 2005, he's got a nice speeding ticket. He's arrested for that. Pleads guilty in absentia for that. September 12th, 2005, petty larceny.
What? He's stealing now?
Stealing something. I don't know what the hell it is. But, this happened on February 10th, 2005. Court date was in September. Petty larceny. So there's that. October 18th, 2005, reckless driving in a parking lot.
This guy.
What?
He loves police involvement.
Reckless driving. That makes sense. Failure to stop at the scene of an accident as well.
Okay.
So he drove like an asshole through a parking lot, hit somebody, and kept going.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
That's a problem.
That's a terrible thing to do. The only thing that would have been worse is if he stopped, got out of the car, and took his cock out. That would have been the only.
Waved it at their kid in the back seat and got back in their car.
Called their kid over to ask a question. 2007. He's arrested for, quote, disregarding traffic lights. Just not going through them, failure to stop, disregarded them.
That's amazing.
I don't stop at those. And
that's a fascinating law.
I just drive. I don't know that's what those lights are for? Holy shit.
I've been disregarding those.
Oh, Christ. I've been disregarding those my whole life. And while he was disregarding those lights, he had no driver's license as well. Of course. So, I mean, you need a license to know to regard the lights, apparently. 2008, this is January 23rd, 2008, another petty larceny.
He's stealing still.
What is happening? I don't know what that is, but I've never been arrested for that. And he's been arrested twice in 3 years for this shit. That seems excessive. Seems like he's got problems when he has problems.
All right.
And then I found 2017, he is part of the National Football League players' concussion litigation in there.
Because you got to blame all this bad behavior on something.
Yeah, which I'm sure he was hitting the head plenty.
I'm sure I'm positive that it's contributing to this.
National Football League against Riddell, the helmet makers, and all that kind of shit there. So, he's involved in that.
That's crazy. Riddell's being sued?
Yeah, because they had the helmets.
Yeah, but...
I mean, they didn't. That's what they knew to make.
Right.
But... I don't know.
They were not in charge. Did they say explicitly this will keep your head safe?
I think they said explicitly, bang, get hit real hard in the head and you'll be fine. No, I never said that.
I don't think
probably,
they ever said that.
But,
I'm sure they said this will do some help.
I don't know if it's like through the NFL, like the NFL said those, because it's the NFL regulations of a helmet that make the helmet.
Right.
So then they just
I'm sure Riddell said this will keep you from being bloody.
I mean, yeah, keep your skull from cracking open, probably. Right. But there's that. Can't get enough of Lance Rentzel?
Oh, boy.
Well, you know what? Go to a playground, put your hair in pigtails, and wait for him to appear.
It's like, get a little more.
It's like the bat signal.
Yeah.
You just do that, and he'll appear with his dick out. Fuck this guy and fuck his autograph and everything else. You'll find him out there. He's a cowboy, so there's plenty of memorabilia. Enjoy.
Put your
fuck him. That's Lance Rentzel.
And you'll get all you can handle.
All you can handle.
Lance Rentzel.
You see a hand waving out a car window, waving you over. You go, there he is.
You're going to see more Lance Rentzel than you will know what to do with.
All the Lance Rentzel you need, pal. So enjoy finding him that way.
You'll get an eye full of Lance Rentzel.
An eye full of Lance Rentzel. Enjoy it that way. And if you did enjoy it, after you see an eye full of Lance, head over to Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars, damn it. It's very important. Helps drive us up the charts, so you're a lifesaver for doing that. Thank you so much for everyone who does.
That's the most fun I've ever had at several young girls' expense.
Right? That's what I mean. It's hard. It feels terrible to laugh.
It does.
But what are you doing?
That guy. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
Unbelievable. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything crime and sports and small town murder you need to listen to both. Also, listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie, because I have been having I had to watch Legally Blonde this week. Yeesh. Holy shit, that was brutal. So listen to my pain. It's very evident. Check all of those out.
The movie that made a Chihuahua famous.
Oh, it drove me nuts, man. So that and Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So
at the same time.
Same time. That was the biggest dog in the world.
And so much so that they made a movie about Chihuahuas in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Disturbing.
Fuck.
So anyway, yeah, do all of that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com/crime-and-sports is also where you can get bonus materials as well. But first, shutupandgivememurder.com I was talking about. Go there, get your tickets to the virtual live show, January the 29th, and for 72 hours after that, you can still get it. It'll be available.
Exactly.
We are going to do small town murder, actual, real show. Like if you went to see us at a theater and bought a ticket, this is exactly what you're going to see, except on a screen and not
in your house
in a theater.
Right.
So same shit though. Check that out. Get those tickets right now or whenever. And we can't wait for that. We're really excited. That's going to be a blast. Can't wait to get some interaction going. It's going to be fun.
Miss it.
We miss it a lot, so it'll be good for us. We even have the mics like on stage to hold, so we feel good about ourselves.
In my hand and everything.
And we'll actually have the sound. They won't be like not hooked up to anything, just us holding them like crazy people.
Just staring into your monitor.
Just hi.
Hi.
Why is that thing hooked up to? It's
Did
wireless.
You hear me say hi?
No, it's not. So yeah, check all that out. Buy your tickets now for that. And also patreon.com/crime-and-sports, where you get all the good bonus stuff. $5 and above gets you access to everything that we have bonus-wise. Last week, it was all sorts of crazy stories from the USFL.
Terrific.
And it was so much fun. Yeah. And also the small town murder bonus, which you'll also get access to, because you get everything for that $5, was comparing the Manson family to the Heaven's Gate cult. Compare, contrast, weird little details about them that you might not know, because a lot of it was pretty deep cuts. So
they're very gross.
Check that out for sure. Definitely listen to that. You can get all of that at patreon.com/crime-and-sports. And Jimmie will mispronounce your name because you will be a producer now.
You bet.
That's right. So he's going to do that for you. Follow us on social media as well. Oh, PayPal.
You bet.
If you want to donate on PayPal and just be a nice person and be a producer and get your name mispronounced, you can do that as well over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Social media at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. And that said, Jimmie,
yes,
damn it, give me the list of the names of people who I never have to worry about exposing their dick to a 10-year-old girl. Please hit me with them now.
This week's executive producers are Tiffany Cervantes in memory of Braden. I think it's Braden Burchell. I don't want to fuck that up.
That sounds important.
Dick move, Whisman. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Christine, what did I do? Christine Shirato and her 14-year-old daughter. They both listen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know her name, nor do I want to know her name because that feels creepy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put a 14-year-old girl's name in here.
No, probably not.
Jeremy Forrest, Andrea Papa George, Leah Stoddard, Jordan Bennett, Rick Daniels, Doug and Beth Brummond, Hafid Cristobal. That guy's amazing.
Yeah,
I like that
awesome.
guy a lot. Hello, Bodega Kitty, Ellie Kamek, she's in Texas. Jackie Sukup, also Jackie with an I. I think it's two different people. I'm pretty sure it is because I know who Jackie Sukup is. Anyway, Thomas DeMello, Michael Giovanetti.
Hey, it's a Giovanetti. You got it right for once.
Ken Hodges, Michelle Lee, Allison Ramos, and what is this? Khaki Surratt? I think that's right. I hope so. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everybody, really.
Liz Vasquez, other producers this week.
Thanks, Liz.
Liz Vasquez, Rabbi Shmulovich. I don't know why Gary Friedman makes me say that shit, but he loves it for some reason. Jennifer Thompson, James Martyr, Peyton Meadows, David Keefe, and Delia Keefe, Kurt Lawson, Ashley Vio, Kayala Rufinach, Kayla, I can't tell. Troy Moriarty, Lisa Tucker, just Tucker, Mary Kip Sousley, Emily Mikas, John Miller, Andrew Jones, Austin Grover, Paul Misak, I don't know. Katerina Niedzolka, Jude Kendall, Hob, what is this? It's happy birthday. It's Leah Medlock. That's who it is.
Wow.
Her husband wanted
Happy
us to
birthday.
say that. Anita Martinez, Travis Tim. I think that's two M's, or it's Tanya. Ian Jones, Sarah Surridge, Amanda Knight, Bethany Sorella, Sean Labradoodle. Bethany Sorella, I said that. Amanda De La Brewer. Oh, boy. Chris Nelson, Melissa Turner, Karen James, Omri Palid, Crystal Hewitt, Colleen Lambert, Shawnee Boswell, Ryan Burrows, Thomas Smith, Elena Mears, Janice Hill, Tom Milligan, Quentin, oh, boy. God damn it. Leday, I think.
Oh, boy.
Don Griggs, Emil Goldager, Matthew Webster, Tyson Chateau, I think. I think that's true. Lisa McKinley, Kieran Andrews, Nicole, God damn it, Godido? No, it's not. Godido? God damn it. Ren Gardner, Jess Rivero, Gary Friedman, Morgan Taylor, Rob Roberts, Stephanie Carina, Tyler Bowers. He's the truffle oil maestro, if you don't know that. Rojan Bajaj.
Oh, cool.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I can never pronounce that, and he's so rad to us.
Yeah,
I feel terrible for being a piece of shit, uncultured swine. Shelley Watson, Shelby Carlson, and Shelby Francisco. That was bizarre to have two people named Shelby.
Right in a row.
Back to back. It was interesting. It blew my mind for a second there. Anna Gervais, Ricky's kid. Joe Dawson, Michael what is this? Indelicato.
Delicado.
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
it's in Delicado.
Italian. Sorry, Mike.
That's an Italian name. I've heard that one before.
Sorry, Mikey. Justine with no last name. Trevor Sexton. Trevor with no last name. Lena Giles or Giles. David with no last name. Chris Fensky. Jordan Malmstrom. Beck Knox, Michael Chapman, Joe Evans, Nathan Taylor, oh boy, Dre Rock, Domerson, I think that's right, Rachel Modafferi, probably
Modafferi.
Not. Might be. Ere, E-R-E, that's an Irish thing, I think, right? Sarah Kendall, Bill with no last name, M.L. Atkinson's the third, or three, Dustin Zero, Samantha Chantrelli, Jude McConkey, Michael Sylvia, John Burlock, Cole Nagel, Miranda Miller, Bridget Kuhns, Amy Hansen, Sigrid McCorvey, Nicole Varela, Keith Hailua, William Thompson, Jesse with no last name, Vicky Powers, William Schumacher, Joe Hawk, Petty Queen, Don with no last name, Joseph Braun, Minna Dabiri, Sierra with no last name, Patrick DeMarchi, Patrick Lowe or Laux, Kristen Stott, Beck, what is this? Ben H., Doug Moore, Andrea Masterson, Megan McChristie, Mark Norton, Rebecca Ann Weaver, Megan Bradley, Kristen Colander, Justin Michael Brard, Clarissa Machado. Oh boy.
All fucked up.
T. Swift, Stephen ass. I like that.
Yeah.
K. Dan, Jade with no last name. Rachel Monier, Nissa Bradley, Marcus Polittle, Marlene Holdeman, Liza Huron, Kenzie Duke, Mike Reinstra, Jake A. Barriero. God damn it. Chris Bartolini, Sue with no last name, Johnny Avi, Susan Miller, Cody Pinnock, Holzfowler. I know that person's name and I didn't write it. Jesse McDonald, Ann with no last name, Rio with no last name, MSP, Carly Eduardo, Kimber Hall, Mariah D. Sam Lazaro, Maria. God, that's a Spanish one. Sorry. I'm good at those. I swear to God. Tara Buckwalter, Chase Maurice, Fernando Nusselbaum, Debbie what did I do? Pat Cow, Latoya Redmond, Michael Fowler, Brad Goers, Jess Hill, Jeff DeLuca, Janet Omo Hundro, almost, sorry, Maureen Supple, Dita Vasquez, Ilhana Ann Judith Llewellyn Hay, Paige Kirkpatrick, Faith Cruz, Jamie Betterly, Leah Martin, Michael Pritchard, Jacqueline Brothers, Brandon Summers, Jody Hightower, Jess with no last name, Tom Lips, Cy McDonald, Enrique, and Unica.
There you go.
There it is.
Hey,
Jackson. I'm sorry. Christy Sexton, Ryan Ift, Naomi Odell, Nicole Walker, Joey Conway, Jake Myers, John Gorman, Przemysław Piatek. Nope. Bradley Forsyth. We're getting near the end here. Saska Shepard, Drake Sharp, Michelle Dyard, Kevin Ainge, Jeffrey Prado Morales, Katie Karn, Jamie. Nope, that's Jason Laughlin. Sorry. Marty with no last name, Nicole Curtis, Carmen Hozak, Marissa Bannon, Julie F., Natalie Young, Chris Owens, nope, that's Olson, James Kraft, Ashley Jacob, Vicky Vasquez, Todd Johnston, Davis Burrell, Robert Ward, Jenny Wagner, Michelle Lopez, Bailey Hanna.
Well, there's been some easy names. The
I
last
know,
20 have
I'm
been
really enjoying this.
Standards. Good job.
Alex Hill, Jane Matthew, Amber with no last name, Cock Waffles, Carrie Stephenson, Harry Caterson, Joe Guerrieri.
There we go. There it is.
Guerrero,
there we
Ange Gowan, Terrence Filan, Kika Metal Products, Lisa with no last name, Maddie Perella, Patrick Bragg, Charlotte with no last name, Jenna Clark, Matt Schwantz. No way. Is it really?
I mean, hey.
Good for you, Matt.
Keep it away.
Jennifer Flora, Jason Hibbard, Ryan Kalinowski, Evo Juzonis, what? Audi Griffith, Taryn with no last name, Zakiya Sykes, Ash Preston, Joe B, J with B-E. That's J.B.
That seems like J.B.
Andrew with no last name, Amanda Leisenring, David Gardner, Lauren Vanderwall, Nicole Herman, Matt Banks, Diane with no last name, Carl Johan, Matthias Larson, Matthias, I don't know, Kristen Fowler. I swear we're close to the end, right? We are very close. Danny Ledbetter, Benjamin Mina?
Yeah.
Panay Amina, I think. Katie Williams, Alexis Wolfson, T. Justin Schroer, Caden Gomolski, Riley Smith, Lindsay Newton, Georgiana Strobin, Kevin Edgar, Daniel Stack, Haley Roberts, Steve Freeze, Daniel Lofan. No, that's David. Sorry, man. God damn it. Renee Quebeman. What is this? Matthew Shields, Jerome Watson, Emily. Nope, that's Amelia Baker, Jackie Sukup, Nick Bell, Nicola Keenan, Jen Lynn, Joel with no last name, Jerome Watson. I think I said that. Joey Lostro, Nora what the fuck? Wilner, Caitlin Ferrari, and that was donated by her sister. She wanted us to say Caitlin. So thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate you. You got a bitchin' last name. Greta Shaw, Zach Charles, Dana Landman, Anthony Lee, Sean with no last name, Adrian Blaylock, Steve Rhodes, Dave Buren, Lindy Cash, Amy Harbor, Chris Arcement, Elliot Spears, Jacob Becker, Susan, my pen was running out of ink and I'm a cheap fuck and I kept writing. Susan Barash, Lisa McChrystal, Ashley Smith, Ashley Lundra, Robin Wall, Michelle Lopez, Emily Carlson, Peppenheim, Insol Jang. That can't be right. It is. Hannah Booth, William Owen, Ethan with no last names, Aaron Spallone, Zach Roth, Lauren Lucius, Lainey Kate, Francisca Schmidt, Megan Long, Lindsay Thompson, Zoe Bednasek, Jacob with no last name, Joe with no last name, Zach
easy.
Burke, and Taylor Stebbins, and all of our patron sponsors, donators. You guys are supporters. You're fucking producers.
Heroes.
Thank you.
They are now exposed. Thank you. Thank you for everyone for unzipping yourselves and letting yourselves be seen and known. Honestly, we can't tell you how much we appreciate.
They are beautiful.
Everything you do for us. You're truly majestic.
You are. You're throbbing.
Throbbing and veiny. And we're impressed by it.
You're very vascular.
He's vascular. Look at it.
You all look like bodybuilders' forearms. I like it.
Vince McMahon loves all of your penises. All of you. Oh, you're so vascular. That's Jimmy, where can they find your penis?
You know where it's at. You know where it's not.
In front of your child, hopefully.
At Whisman Sucks is where you find me.
Yeah,
where do they find you?
I'm at Jimmy P is funny, and you can follow me and whatever the hell you want to do.
That's where we're at.
Copy and paste our names if you want to find us. It's a little easier. But that said, everybody, thank you for hanging for a weird, gross, strange holiday story. It's a holiday tale. And we are off next week. Right. No show next week, but there will be a bonus show.
So don't be depressed and show it to
Don't
kids.
be depressed. No. Our bonus show will come out on Christmas. Keep your dick in your pants, at least till our show comes out. That'll cheer you up and you won't have to expose your cock to children.
Yes.
That said, thank you very much, everybody. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.